This is the Say It Can't Gamer, and you are live with the MMA-Holes!
Mixed Martial A-Holes! MMA-Holes, 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 MMA-Holes. You like to be a mixed martial A-hole. MMA-Holes, 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 MMA-Holes.
No way.
From the Queen Studios of New York, should the UFC bring back Hardy? Jon Jones fails again. UFC news, Bellator news, MMA news with the MMA. Wonderful, wonderful, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're here. Wednesday, season 3, episode 333. There you go, TGIW.
Wait, can I try that again?
What? That was a no-look slap. Did you look?
No, I did look.
No?
All right.
Oh, you looked? Ready?
Say TJW.
All right, TGIW. There you go.
Wonderful.
That is very wonderful, wonderful. It's good to see everyone tonight on the MMA Holes. Before we went live, a story broke about Jon Jones, more steroid stuff. So, yay, we put his picture in the news. Well, on our thumbnail. There it is. Bring Hardy back is another topic over here because of the controversial knee. We'll talk about that. We'll discuss a little more Henry Cejudo, TJ Dillashaw, the fate of the flyweight division. Lots of stories tonight on the MMA Holes. But Jesse,
Yesy.
how are you tonight?
I'm wonderful.
Wonderful.
How are you tonight?
Well,
Wonderful.
I'm wonderful too. I hope everyone in the chat is wonderful. Hit me in the chat with a wonderful if you are. It's good to be here. The third episode of season 3. That's right. The 3 seasons. The third season of TGIW. That's right, Jesse.
Right, homie.
That's right, homie.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. How's everyone in the chat doing?
Oh.
Did it do it again?
Oh.
What is this?
Look it. It's like magic.
What is this about? So I thought it was what it guessed. All right. So to the people listening on Podbean and iTunes, I don't know what the fuck that is.
I think it might be a like faulty connection between the camera and the computer because it seems like every time you switch it, the camera changes.
Yeah. Hopefully that does that all night. That's all. It's a flickering of the screen. It did it during Justin Sumter's interview. I thought it was his baby. His baby was radioactive and the frequency was screwing up our signal.
Yeah.
But apparently that's not the case. So now it seems like it's fine. All right. I hope everyone had a seizure from that. What's going on in the chat?
Zach Neitzer says, wonderful. Aaron McFarland, wonderful. Mark Jackson, John Hot Liquid Jones. NH says, I am wonderful. Dirty Dan says, this is ass, baby.
Yeah.
Q says, this shitty buffering was happening last show, Mosticle. Yep, that's what we just said.
Hey, hold on. Did he use my cuckle after the thing? Did he call me Mosticle?
Mosticle.
I like that. When you add a cuckle after things.
Like statistical?
Statisticals.
Yeah.
Right?
Fun fact. I don't know if you know this about yourself.
Yeah.
But you actually invented that.
That's right.
The occult.
It's like testicles, but you make everything into testicles.
Yeah.
Let's try something now. Let's see. Think about it.
MMA-Holes. MMA-Holes.
Close.
MMA-Holesticles. MMA-Holesticles?
Here's a trick. If it ends in a C,
or an S,
you could put an O at the end of it.
Or an S, right? Testicles.
Yeah.
MMA-Holesticles.
Yeah. There you go. Wonderful. We're going to try that all night. Try it in the chat. Add a cuckles. Add the cuckles. 20 likes. 20 likes. I've got fucking 20 likes.
Queef.
Tonight, we light the fucking interwebs on fire. So like the shit out of this video because we're going to have a fantastical, There it is, Jesse. Show.
No?
All right.
Wonderful.
There we go.
By the way, Louis Serrano just said say queef on air. So I said queef.
There you go. Shout out to Louis Serrano. Look at the matchmaker of CES in the chat tickles. And here it goes again, Jesse. Look, there it is.
It's magic.
What is up with this thing?
Magicals.
Well, why is it doing this?
It's fluttering skulls. It's
Where we going? Where we go?
flutterstickles.
What the fuck is that? Why is it doing that? I don't know. So let's have that happen all night.
I do think it's a connection between the camera and the computer.
Yeah. What makes you say that? Because the camera's flickering?
Well, no. Actually, I know why it's actually glitching.
Yeah. Why?
Because it's because of Obama.
Oh, it's Obama's fault?
Yeah, according to Louis Serrano.
No. Yeah. We have the Obama internet connection. All right. Let's get back over here. Let's talk about Jon Jones. I mean, Greg Hardy, we were going to discuss that at the top of the show, but might as well go into Jon Bones Jones, Jesse. I mean, it looks like Jon Jones has tested positive again. Let's get the full story, Jesse. I mean, that's what we do over here in the MMA-Holes, right? But before...
Why is your hand in my... It's literally like...
Shh. Before we give the full story, we have to give a shout out to our sponsor, BetDSI.
Bet who?
BetDSI. Real quick.
BetDSI.
Check this out. Big fights this weekend, Jesse. Bellator.
Yes.
That's right. Fedor, the GOAT, is an underdog.
Yes.
The Super Bowl. I showed a video where you can bet on everything, the coin toss and all that bullshit. Everything. You can bet on anything and everything. Jesse, tell them more.
Well, just because you're not in Vegas doesn't mean you can't bet on MMA and UFC. BetDSI offers online wagering and has been paying winners for 20 years. Use the link in the description with promo code MMAHOLE. Again, the link in the description with promo code MMAHOLE. And win up to 100% bonus match. BetDSI is top rated on betting review sites. BetDSI has a very user-friendly interface and mobile site as well as the fastest payouts in the industry. BetDSI also offers betting options for everything, including NFL, NCAA Football, NBA, NHL, UFC, and all other major sports, politics, reality TV, esports, virtually everything.
Anderson Silva's a plus 519. Look at that. 519. Wow. Underdog time.
You can try live betting on Anderson Silva at BetDSI, where you can also bet on games through the entire matchup, every play, and every minute until the end.
All right, there you go. BetDSI promo code MMAHOLE. Jesse, check it out. It's flickering again. Look at that.
That's great.
I think BetDSI has flickered our screen. There it is. BetDSI.
All right, I think it's a connection.
All right, let's see. I'm going to try something new.
Troubleshoot.
Should I
Live on the
unplug?
MMA
Which one should I unplug? Which one do you think?
Whichever one is the camera.
All right, all right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, we got a donation. Let's flicker through this donation.
Dana White the Rat has his cover story to keep milking his coon Juicy Jones. The Pulse based upon one fake study with one subject. It's all a fake news cover-up. CNN would be proud. Fuck that Irish coon Dana White. Jones or USADA must go.
The Irish coon. Yeah, the Pico coon has donated, Jesse. What do you think about that?
Thanks, Pico coon.
Look at us. We got a new
and
MMA hole.
Welcome, Sergio Edmonds.
Sergio. Hey, my name is Sergio. Yes.
Sergio.
I am now an MMA hole. Yes.
All right, I say you unplug something and then plug it back in.
All right, ready? Here we go. Tonight on the MMA Holes, I'm going to troubleshoot. I'm going to unplug a wire. Hopefully it's the wire to the camera. There's
and
so
not
many...
the wire to the stream. It shuts everything down.
Hopefully it's the wire to the camera. All right, here we go. You ready, Jesse? Oh, I'm so nervous. Are you nervous in the chat? Let me know. I'm going to unplug a wire. Here we go. That's not the wire. Fuck. All right. That wasn't it. Let's do it again. All right, I'm going to unplug another wire. That's not it. Oh, that is it. Hold on. All right, I'm frozen on the screen. We're going to shut me off. I'm frozen. All right.
Wonderful.
Okay, so now I'm frozen, Jesse. And you're frozen as well.
I am.
Okay, we're going to fix it. See?
Now you have to adjust
Now we're blue.
colors.
Look at this. We're blue over here. Oh, we're going to fix this. I think I got it, guys. Hold on. Advanced. Here we go. Look at this. We
Everyone
do this live.
count to 11.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There we go. It looks like we're back in business. 20 likes.
20 likes, 20 likes,
I've got fucking
20 likes.
20 likes, 20 likes. I've got fucking 20 likes, 20 likes, 20 likes. I've got fucking 20 likes. I hope the dislikes die of leprosy.
And just like that, you unplug a plug. You plug it back in.
And ta-da!
It's all fixed.
I love you.
Jesse, what time is it?
It's time for the news.
Oh, it's so beautiful. Everybody sing along. Jesse, read us the news. All right, everybody, take your genitals out. It's time for Jesse. I want the MMA news. Oh my God, it's playing. Everyone's excited now.
Wake up, finish work, whatever you do,
It's gonna be okay.
JBH.
Oh, it's so beautiful. Has you covered with the MMA.
Super chat.
What is this?
Positive again? Really? Aw, man.
That's right. We'll talk about it right now.
All right, Roberto. Thank you for that. As I
All right.
I'm hitting all the wrong buttons now. Look at
We'll
this.
stop hitting all the wrong buttons.
All right, Jesse. What is in the news?
All right, according to BJPenn.com, steroid metabolites have been found in Jon Jones' UFC 232 VADA drug test results.
All right.
Don't look now, but steroid metabolites have once again been found in the system of UFC light heavyweight champ Jon Jones. Jon Jones was drug tested in competition.
You can't stop the Siberian Express. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
It's Barry Trotz.
Remember, a few weeks ago it was big breaking news that Jones tested clean in his post-fight USADA test. That was a victory for Jones, exonerating him.
Yep.
Yet now this new failed test they will poo-poo and say it's the pulse. USADA must go or Jones must go.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
It was a harsh word. Wow, you want Jon Jones or USADA to go?
All right. Jon Jones was drug tested in competition by Voluntary Anti-Doping Agency, or VADA.
Super chat.
It's Kevin Spacey coming in.
Give me the boy.
Hanging with the boys.
The results of those tests came back this week, and once again, Jon Jones has been flagged for having turnaball metabolites in his system. Jones had 33 picograms of 4-chloro-18-nor 17-hydroxymethyl, 17-methyl-5-androxyl, and all that stuff. In other words, M3 or DHMCT in his system per the commission. The urine sample was collected from him on the day of weigh-ins, which took place December 28, 2018. Jon Jones went on to defeat Alexander Gustafsson via third-round knockout in the main event of UFC 232 on December 29th. The California State Athletic Commission will not take disciplinary action against Jones, this according to Executive Officer Andy Foster, as this was the same long-term M3 metabolite that Jon Jones was suspended 15 months for following his UFC 214 victory over Daniel Cormier.
Oh, correction, Jesse. It was 33 pico-niglets,
Yeah.
according to Real.
Oh, thanks, Real, for correcting me.
Yeah.
All right, Foster said to MMA Fighting, quote, "I spoke with the scientists. They stand by their original statement. Nothing has changed. We've already punished Jon Jones for the M3 metabolite, which is a long-term metabolite. There's no grounds to charge somebody twice for the same violation," end quote. This was the same metabolite that forced UFC 232 to be moved from Las Vegas to Los Angeles just 1 week's notice so that Bones would be eligible to compete. Jon Jones is expected to return to the octagon at March's UFC 235 event to defend his title against a surging division contender, Anthony Smith. What do you think of the recent news that Jon Jones was once again flagged for having steroid metabolites in his system at UFC 232? Sound off the comments.
All right. All right, comment section. Let's see what you have to say about this. Jon Jones. All right. There's a couple of things here. Before we went live, actually Real threw it on Instagram. I saw him tagging us like crazy, and we had to do a little research, and sure enough, this story popped up. And we're not surprised, right?
Surprise, surprise, motherfucker.
Yeah. But here's the thing. It's the same, like, he's nailed for the same thing,
Yes.
right? So it really technically doesn't mean anything, right? It's the same situation. They just did another test, right? Confirming the other situation. What's up, auxiliary bear? So you can't really, I guess, kill him again. Like, we can't really light him on fire, like we're on fire right now over here. You can't really do that. You can go back and be like, fuck this guy, you know, he's a cheater and blah, blah, blah. You could say all that stuff, and you have a right to do that. We've you know, lit him on fire multiple times. But in this situation, there's really nothing new. There's nothing new to the story. It's the same thing. Like, he's nailed in a different way for the same thing.
Yeah.
So what do you do? Like,
I read a comment before the show started in the chat. I can't remember who said it, so please forgive me. But someone said that this is simply a case of we're going to be dogging on Jon Jones for the rest of his career in the UFC, because this is going to happen over and over again, especially if it's this pulsating thing that they're talking about. It's going to come back. It's going to go away. It's going to come back. It's going to go away and come back. If this science is legit. On that same note, I have to agree with whoever said that, because I would grow tired of constantly nagging on Jon Jones for the same fucking thing. I think he fucked up. He shouldn't be in the UFC, period. He fucked up one too many times. He's had enough chances. He shouldn't even be here. But he is. So I'm not just going to sit here and waste all my precious time nagging on Jon Jones. I might as well focus on another fighter who's worthy of my time.
yeah, I can't, as much as I'd love to make this a nice long segment and we shit on Jon Jones, I'd love to do that. It'd be fun. But we've done it already. It's the same thing. If Jon Jones gets in trouble again for something different that is under the umbrella of this whole steroid thing, then yeah, we light him on fire. We get the pitchforks. We get tomatoes. We get it all, and we just harass the hell out of him, right? I get that, but in this situation, it really doesn't matter, right? He fought Gustafsson. He had the picogram in his system, and it's the same thing that this falls under. So I mean, we move on. He does it again, we fucking destroy him. We destroy his life. Right? Is that what we're gonna do?
No, I'm over it.
We rip his pants off. We slap his BBC around. Like, no.
Yeah.
Right? That's what we do on the show. So honestly, I kind of don't care. Let's see what the chat room has to say.
John Dunbar says the female looks like a witch. Maybe I am a witch. You never know. Maybe I could be whispering a spell to you right now and you'll have no idea. Kyle O'Brien says, dude, I just got a fucking write-up for pulling out my genitals at work during the MMA news song. Thanks, Mystic. Great advice. That's
Wonderful,
awesome.
wonderful.
Michael J says, what a moron job is. What? Thanks for telling Moss that. 2 joints, says Stalio 2. Michael Anzalone says, peep. Brother Styles, LOL, people wishing death on Jon Jones. You people are pathetic. Who's wishing death on Jon Jones? Jesus.
Yeah, we don't hope he dies. That's a little extreme.
I hope no one else is wishing death on Jon Jones either.
I don't even hope my enemies die. You know, actually, no, I've wished death on people. I'm not going to lie. Jesse, have you ever wished death on somebody?
No.
I have.
I have been in situations where I should have. I certainly should have.
No, I think people, if you don't like them, they die, right?
No. I can't do that.
No?
No, because I believe in karma. And I believe,
you're going to die?
I believe that if I wish death on someone and even if they don't die, if something horrible happens to them, then karma comes around to me. You get what you give.
I look at it this way. Doing this show, in the beginning especially, people wished me to die. And people probably in this chat, hit me with the ones if you want me dead.
I've had that. People have wished me to die.
Yeah, they want me to die. So I feel if they want me to die, why can't I want people to die? Why do they get to have all the fun, you know?
Because
so every once in a while, maybe I want someone to die.
You have to practice good karma. Because if they wish you to die, then bad karma comes around their way, not your way.
Oh, Dirty Dan brings up something good. It says food fights live. Yeah, both of them. Heart attacks, multiple heart attacks on air.
Stop it.
I'm down with that.
Stop.
No?
Stop it.
All right.
Oh, God.
Let me know in the chat if you ever wanted someone to die. All right, let's see what else we have in the news. Let's talk about the Greg Hardy thing. See what's going on with him. Greg Hardy gets a loss because of what happened this weekend with that knee. The knee lands. Hardy not very apologetic about the situation, and the question is, do we bring Hardy back, right? Does the UFC, not us, but does the UFC bring Hardy back? It looks like Dana White is like, yeah, bring the man back. He's going to bring numbers. He's going to bring money to the table. Here's my thing with Greg Hardy, right? First of all, I'm going to piggyback off of what... Oh, here we go again with the fucking... Oh, it's a donation. But, the fuck? I have to change this camera.
Most we love ya, but you just lost 10 IQ points defending this. Pulse is fake. It's a fake study based upon one subject tested with T-ball. 100% fake and not scientific. At least call it as it is. Fake science story covering up a cheater.
Well, here's the thing. I can't disagree with what you said there. I mean, there is definitely cover-up action going on. Thank you, the real science. Yeah, there is. I mean, it's shady as fuck. He had a shortened sentence. They bring him back, and you have like these 2 failed tests. It's really shady. It is. But what are we going to do? Yeah. It is what it is. You know, you have the Cormier fight. It gets scratched. That's no good anymore, right? There's only one win, according to the history books. So we have to move on. We have nothing to do. Now, I've seen it before, and I've told people before, if you do not enjoy Jon Jones, what he does, right, and that he's in the UFC, you don't buy the pay-per-view. It's that simple. It's the only leg you have to stand on as a fan. You just don't buy the pay-per-view. Here's the problem. People are still buying the pay-per-views. As you can see from the last fight, they move it from Vegas to LA, and what did they make? What was it? 800,000 pay-per-view buys or some shit like that?
Yeah, I can't remember the exact number, but it was second to the Conor pay-per-view this year.
It's insane. It really is insane. People are like, oh my God, this guy, he should never fight again. Let's buy the pay-per-view. Like, it sucks, you know? It really does. So if you don't want him to be in the UFC, if you don't like what he does, you don't go to the fights, and definitely don't pay for the pay-per-views.
Here's the problem with that, and here's the reason I see that as a problem. Because as an MMA fan, albeit I wouldn't want to buy the pay-per-view because of a fighter that, you know, has made too many disappointments in the UFC and shouldn't even be there, and I could see the reason to feel the need to boycott. I don't think that'll ever happen, because you have to remember there's still a million other fights on that card with fighters that might, like, if I were just an MMA fan, if I weren't doing the show or anything like that, if there's other fighters on that card that I want to see,
you steal it
because they're my favorite fighters. Like, that's why I would buy a pay-per-view.
You steal it.
Yeah, but what my point is there are MMA fans out there who, yes, albeit they probably want to boycott because of Jon Jones, they can't, because they want to watch the other fighters. They want to watch their other favorite fighters. You can
watch it, though. Here's the thing.
Some people don't know how to do that.
All right, so to the people that don't, you know, they can't afford the pay-per-views or whatever, don't want to buy it because of certain fighters on the card, well, you fucking go to Reddit and you do what you got to do. Or you become a patron, right? You become a patron, you jump into our private Discord, and they help you out over there as well. There are always ways. There's always a way, right? Now, I am not encouraging, go out and steal this and that. Yeah. But if there is always a way to prove your point, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, these other fighters on the card that you're talking about, they don't get shit from the pay-per-views. Nope. So why pay for it? The people that get it are the Jon Joneses. So if you don't want them to prevail, if you don't want them to succeed, well, you don't pay for their pay-per-views. That's simple. All right, let's see. What'd you do? You spilled? How dare you? How dare you spill shit during the show? It's very unprofessional. Just stream it, fucking boy. All right, listen. Let's see. Now, Greg Hardy. The whole Greg Hardy situation. Do you think that he should still be in the UFC, Jess?
I say, here's the thing. It wasn't his choice to be thrown on the co-main event. It was the choice of the organization, and I think that he just capitalized on an opportunity like anybody would. So I say give him another chance, but don't throw him on a co-main event. Put him down on the prelims.
Okay. There you go.
That's simple.
WMMA scene.
Go to BWW for pay-per-view. They're going to buy it anyway. Better to spend your money on beer and mediocre wings.
There you go. Buffalo Wild Wings. Go there, right? That's actually a good point. We unfortunately we can't do it because of the show.
Over there. I love their wings.
Yeah, the food's delish. But Buffalo Wild Wings, they show all their Miller's Ale House is another one. There's a bunch of bars that show the fights as well. So there you go. If you don't want to pay for it, go to the bar and fucking stuff your face. Spend the $70 on booze and chicken legs. You know, do that. That's a good idea. With Greg Hardy, I'm kind of with you. I'm kind of not. I don't know how I feel about this situation.
Here's the thing. Whether what he did was on purpose or by mistake, we'll never have a way of knowing. But
it's on purpose. He said it.
No, he said that he thought that what he did was legal.
Which
tells us he made an amateur mistake. He should have more time before being thrown on a fucking co-main event.
That's not what he said, though. He said that he felt his opponent, and I don't remember his name, the white guy, was lifting his knee up.
Alan Crowder.
And he had time. Was it Crowder?
Crowder.
Look at how fucking good she is. She even knows this guy. I don't know who this guy is. I know he's from the Contender Series. That's all I know. He's white. He's a big, hunky white guy. So Crowder was lifting his knee up.
Mm-hmm. That's what he thought.
And he thought he timed it correctly. So he knows the rule. It's not like he doesn't know the rule. He just figured, he's like, well, hey, it's pride. Right in his face. No, he thought he timed it correctly. He's wrong. He didn't time it correctly. In fact, if you watch it back, I mean, it is just like, oh my God, this guy's not feeling my punches. He's talking shit. He's on his knee. Let me fucking knock his head off of his body. Like, I think he was just reacting off of instinct.
I don't know. Here's the thing. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I personally feel that he made an amateur mistake. He probably did think that what he was doing was okay. Even though he knew that was an illegal move, he probably did think that Crowder was getting up and he kneed him, which of course was illegal in the moment, but he probably thought it was right. And I say, here's what you could do. Here's what the UFC could do. They could throw him down on the prelims, give him more time, build his fucking experience in MMA, and then let him get to a point where he deserves to be on a co-main event, where he knows what he's doing. But if you throw him on the prelims and he makes the same mistake, then you know that he doesn't belong here, and don't bring him back in the UFC. But give him a chance on the prelims. Give him a chance to become better at the sport.
This is what I say. I say you get rid of him. I say,
I want you to clean your vagina.
Well,
clean your vagina.
John Hamill.
John Hamill subscribed to our second channel. Look at that. Thank you, John. Appreciate that. Not the MMA Holes. Link in the description. I say you get rid of him, right? Not for good. He's still young in the game, right? So listen, you made a mistake. You go down, you fight for someone else, or Bellator probably scoop him up real quick. But it's just very controversial with his background, right? So it's a risky thing for people to pick him up. Let him test the waters out there. Get a couple of fights under his belt and make him earn his way back into the UFC. Like, I mean, this is a big mistake. I mean, he could have seriously hurt Crowder. If he wants to do this, he could fight in Japan and do it and knock himself out, knock the other guys out like that. But I mean, I don't think he's the guy that's going to be the big ticket for the UFC. I can't really see that. I understand he's a big NFL player. But he's got some controversy that people are gonna, they're just gonna have their things to say about him. Let him earn his UFC. Now people are comparing him to CM Punk and this and that, but CM Punk, he came back, he didn't fucking knee someone in the head illegally. He didn't get disqualified. Like if CM Punk lost by a disqualification, then you could be like, okay, Dana White would have every reason to be like, you know what, CM Punk, what are we doing here? Now, Hardy clearly has more skill than CM Punk, way more. The guy can he's actually a good striker. He had the ability to get back up from being sucked down to the floor. So, I mean, Hardy does have a lot of potential, but let him earn his stripes, man. What are you doing at the co-main event? What are we doing here? Not even CM Punk was the co-main event. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Let him earn his stripes. Let's see what the chat says.
Dirty Dan says, that shit hurted. 2 joints. Artem is the true Russian ghost. Steve Johnson says, John understands how to not care and win and defeat the rules using cheat codes. Post Reloaded says, let him fight CM Punk then. Steve Johnston, Unlimited continues.
Yeah, I want that. Let that happen.
McAction MMA says, CM Punk probably should have done that. Greg Odom Blaze says, CM Punk was a pussy. Greg Hardy is a killer. Staley2 says, CM Punk is an old beaten man. Michael Anzalone says, do you think there are too many rules in the UFC and other organizations? Pride and Strikeforce never had these rules, and they were great fights. Well, I mean, you have to remember, these rules didn't really exist early on in the UFC. They made these rules because people were coming at the UFC, threatening to shut them down. What
was his comment? He said to make it happen?
He asked
go back
if
to
he
it?
thinks that there were too many rules, if we think there's too many rules in the UFC.
So there are a couple of things, like the 12-6 elbow. I'm cool with that. I'm down with it. If you're going to elbow, what's the difference between 12-6 and a regular elbow? So I would say, yeah, you know what? Let that happen in the UFC. This is a little bit different to me. An opponent with a knee down and, especially at heavyweight, you got this monstrosity throwing all his body weight into his knee with a kind of a defenseless guy here. I get this rule. I'm cool with this rule. Now, there is a part of me that would like to be like, let everything go, let them die in there, right? But I like rules as long as they enforce them. You know, I like rules, and I feel that this is a fair rule. Jesse, what do you think? Do you think they should allow the knee with a downed opponent?
Not with a downed opponent. I am a fan of the knee because I do think it adds to the entertainment of the sport and the sport itself. But no, of course not a downed opponent. You know, that it's common sense, I think, when it comes to combat sports, what should and should not be acceptable. You know, it's a sport. They're not trying to kill each other. It's a fucking sport.
Let's see what the chat has to say.
Mark Jackson says UFC should allow biting and scratching. Stalio 2 says Punk's girlfriend has a nice ass. Law of Attraction says Stalio 2, I will be there on HT21. Grease Dog says Eddie D, that shit cracked me up. Steve Johnson says rules are for people you want to keep down and away from the top rule. American Military Equals Freedom says the Next News Network, good channel on YouTube. Thank you. McAction MMA says legalize cock slaps. Boss Kogar, no rules. Dirty Dan says I'm trying to fill JBH's anal canal with my tongue. No, thank you.
Oh, that's nice.
220 says this show's a masquerade. You mean masquerade?
Let's talk about something real quick before we get back into the news. I like that, masquerade. Let's talk about something real quick. I was in the chat for, what was it, MMA fighting? Mark Ramundi and the alien guy. I always forget the other guy's name. But, man, I love triggering that chat room. I fucking get off on it. I like to go in there, sprinkle a little bit of autism, and then just bounce. Like, I like to do that. And then I just, like, sit back. I kick my legs up in the air, and I just laugh as they just say my name. They're like, oh, my God, the MMA gay holes.
It's true.
It's so fun. And I'm just, like, laughing, just, like, throwing popcorn down my throat and just dying, laughing at the craziness. If you ever get a chance, go into that chat room, right? And if you are in that chat room, have fun. They get so triggered in there. It's
not a joke. Usually he doesn't bring the computer to breakfast, but he actually had the computer next to him at breakfast today.
Well, it's pretty embarrassing that you're saying that because that was lunchtime when we had.
Oh, lunch, breakfast, whenever it was.
Yeah, we had breakfast during lunch.
And, well, he sat there eating and laughing after he got the entire chat triggered.
As soon as you respond to me, right? And this chat could probably back this up. As soon as you respond to me, and then when I leave the chat and I see everyone's like, that fucking guy.
You're feeding his ego.
My head is just getting bigger and bigger. I'm like, they're still saying my name. They're still saying my name. They're saying it. It's still being said. Advertisement. They're advertising me. It doesn't matter what the fuck you say. I don't care. You can make fun of my looks. You can make fun of my age. Anything. You can make fun of Jesse's breasts. Whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do, it's hysterical to me. So
what breasts?
But it's unbelievable how you can trigger a chat room and just sit there and just laugh. So have fun. Anything that's run by Vox. I haven't done it with ESPN yet. It seems like ESPN is a mixture of everything over there. So I'm kind of cool with it, what ESPN's doing. But anything that has to do with Vox, feel free to terrorize them because it's hysterical. And God forbid they read the chat. That doesn't happen. So shout out to those cucks. All right, let's see what else we have in the news.
All right, so do you want me to read this Alan Crowder thing? He does have a price for a rematch with Greg Hardy.
What's that?
Alan Crowder has named a price for a rematch with Greg Hardy.
Oh, tell me.
All right, according to MMAnews.com, the most controversial bout heading into UFC Brooklyn was Greg Hardy's promotional debut against Alan Crowder. With Greg Hardy's history of domestic violence, his name will perhaps always carry a degree of controversy, but when the UFC placed him on the same card as Rachel Ostovich, who was recently involved in a domestic violence issue, then placed the 3-0 Hardy the co-main event slot, even more attention was drawn on Hardy than he was already garnering since he signed with the promotion. It is only fitting that the controversy would continue into the bout where Hardy landed an illegal knee to a downed Alan Crowder and earned his first loss of his career via disqualification. There have been rumblings of a potential rematch between the two taking place, and in an appearance on MMA Tonight on SiriusXM, Crowder addressed what it would take for him to give Greg Hardy a second chance. He said, quote, I mean, the ending is controversial, and if they're willing to pay me some money, I'm willing to do the rematch for sure. If the money's right, money talks. You know what I mean? I got 3 little kids I want to put through college. I got bills to pay. Alan Crowder would then provide a specific number for what it would take for him to step into the cage with Greg Hardy once again, saying, quote, I'd like $100,000, honestly. That's not that much compared to a lot of UFC fighters, but it's a lot compared to what I normally make, so I'd be down for $100,000 to do it, for sure.
Okay. Good for Crowder. No one cares, right? I mean, it's crazy.
I mean, and it's a little interesting if you think about it. I mean, it was a disqualification. He doesn't even need to give Greg Hardy the chance at a rematch, and he's willing to do it.
He's just trying to keep his name in the news. And it's a smart move, right? He's trying something. But I don't know. Let's see what's up with Marlon Moraes.
All right, according to MMAnews.com, Marlon Moraes is embarrassed by TJ Dillashaw's UFC Brooklyn performance. Marlon Moraes is currently ranked number 4 at bantamweight, and Dana White has stated that Moraes' upcoming main event against Rafael Assunção at UFC Fortaleza will determine the next contender for TJ Dillashaw. Moraes anticipates being the bantamweight champion by the end of the year, but until then, he must concede that TJ Dillashaw is the representative of the bantamweight division as its champion. And Moraes was no less proud to make that concession as he was Saturday night after watching Henry Cejudo run through Dillashaw in less than 1 minute. He said, quote, "I just feel a little bit embarrassed, being a 135er and having our champion going down and losing because I'm a 35er. He's going down, representing us, and he lost."
He's basically saying that our champ lost to a manlet. That's what he's saying over there.
Pretty much. Embarrassment aside, though, Marlon Moraes believes that it is good for the sport that Henry Cejudo got the victory because it likely secures the jobs of many of his personal friends.
Do we have a story about Henry Cejudo leaving his people? Do we have a story about that, or should we just talk about that now?
No, I have a story about Henry Cejudo and Nikki Bella, but
all right, we'll get into that in a second. But Henry Cejudo, unless you live under a rock, he beat TJ Dillashaw with 32 seconds in the fight. Some say, "Oh my God, quick stoppage." Some say, "Oh my God, it was fine." But he won, right? Henry Cejudo wins, and he says he wants to save the 125ers, and then he's just going to go run off to the 135-pound weight class. Yeah. Kind of makes no sense. But all right, so now the 125ers are kind of dangling. You got Benavidez is like, "No, let's run it back, motherfucker." That's not a huge fight for Henry. Like, nothing at 125 is a big money fight for Henry. So I understand why he wants to get paid. But to go and say that you're going to go now after the 135-pound belt and in the same breath say that you're saving the 125-pound weight class, it contradicts itself. It's ridiculous. And I think Henry Cejudo is retarded.
I disagree.
I think he's retarded.
I still disagree with you. We had this conversation earlier. I can see where you're coming from, how he saved the 125 division. It doesn't make sense for him to move up to 135. But nothing says he's going to stay at 135. It is possible for him to have saved the 125 division, move up to 135 for however long he needs to be up there, take the belt, and then move back down. He still saved the 125-pound division. That division would not be there, probably wouldn't even be on the UFC website right now if it weren't for Henry Cejudo. So, yes, I think in a sense he can have said he saved the 125 and still gain the 135 title.
Henry Cejudo beating Mighty Mouse, did that do anything good for the 125-pound weight class?
I think Mighty Mouse was already on his way out of the division, and Dana White knew that. So I think Dana White already had plans far before Henry Cejudo ever won that belt. Mm-hmm. But because Henry Cejudo did win against the GOAT and he had maintained that title, why would you rip that 125 division out? You can't. So yeah, I think in some sense of the way, he probably did save it.
You can't stop the
Fuck you, Vox.
Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
Let's see what Fuck You Vox has to say.
Fuck Vox. Vox is a pro-abortion, pro-communist left-wing organization. Vox lies and doxes innocent people just to fit their political agenda. An evil company that needs to be out of the MMA media. Fuck you, Vox. Fuck that shitty show, too. MMA-Holes for life.
Thank you, Fuck You, Vox. Appreciate that.
Keith Polaraki just says exactly DJ lost because he was going to 1, and perhaps maybe he took a bag.
Maybe his head wasn't in the game. I mean, you defend the belt that many times, your head swells up. He lost by a decision. It's not like Henry knocked him out. He lost by a decision. It could have went either way, really. I think they got it right.
But you don't think there were some strings pulled because perhaps DJ had some other plans to move out?
I believe this. I believe if DJ's plan was this, by some reason, if I lose here, I'm going to just run off to 1, right? If I win, I'm going to use 1 as a negotiation with the UFC to try to use it as leverage. I think that's what his plan was. I think DJ, it was a win-win for DJ. He didn't give a fuck, right? So I think that's what the case was there. If DJ was still the UFC champ of 125, the weight class, they wouldn't start cutting everyone off the roster. It would still be there because Mighty Mouse is a fucking legend. I don't care what anyone says. The guy is a legend. He's not a pay-per-view seller, but, I mean, look at his resume. It's ridiculous. Henry Cejudo takes the belt from Mighty Mouse, a spectacular performance. You know, the bounce back. He gets knocked out in the first round, and then boom, he takes the belt from Mighty Mouse. So credit to Henry. But if you're the savior of the weight class and everyone's getting cut, you stay there and you defend that weight class's honor. If you're really an honorable person and you want that division, he doesn't give a fuck. He wants to get paid. And that's what I kind of wish he said. I kind of wish he said this. Listen, I hope the 125-pound weight class stays around, but it's time for me to make some fucking money. Like, then I would respect him. But he's full of shit. You know he's full of shit. His face, his big head is full of shit. It's full of complete shit. I don't buy it. He's trying to be the good guy and then leave the weight class. You're not the good guy anymore. You're
I think
contradicting yourself.
We'll agree to disagree on this one.
Let's see what the chat says.
T-Join says, go Rams, go. Fook Tom Brady. David Flores says, Law of Attraction shit on me. I just posted about a tranny. I can't win. Fuck my life. Law of Attraction says, Bible equals buy bull. Alex Jones says, facts. Fletcher Rayu MMA says, LOL. Angel Gorgiev says, hey guys. Hey, Angel. Khabib says, Chris probably believes in fairy tales too. Sean Rosas says, fuck Henry. He doesn't give two shits. He's fake as fuck. Two Joint says, you guys doing a live stream for the Super Toilet Weed Bold Moss? Maybe.
Second channel. Not the MMA-Holes. Will be live for the Super Bowl. Sure.
Grease Dog says, how do we know Jon Jones isn't microdosing? Please answer. Well, we don't know. And like I said, this is a debate that we really should not spend much more time on, because if USADA is going to go, and even VAT is going to go on with this whole fucking pulsing bullshit, and they're not going to give us any further evidence, or nobody else is going to come out with any other scientific evidence that proves otherwise, we really have no basis to sit here and waste our time worrying about what he has in his system. The dude already fucked up. He shouldn't even be in the UFC, but he is. So we just have to fucking move on.
Well, here's the thing. If you do have your opinions on the Jon Jones situation, we'll open up the phone lines in the second half of the show. We're live for 2 hours tonight. We're going to get through the news. We'll open up the phone line, so hang in there, and you can call in and complain about Jon Jones if you'd like to do that, or Greg Hardy, or whatever you want to complain about. That is your time to shine. All right, let's go over to the MMAHoles.com, the greatest website on the interwebs. And what do we have here, Jesse?
All right, here we go. According to MMAnews.com, Nikki Bella responds to Henry Cejudo's date offer.
Oh, yeah. Now, this Nikki Bella, I had to do a little research.
Yeah.
This girl here, research. John Cena's wife. My pants happened to be off during the research, Jesse.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Yeah. So she reached out on social media. There's a whole thing about this. Let's hear the story.
UFC flyweight champ Henry Cejudo is a happy man at the moment, and not just because of his recent flyweight title defense. The Messenger made quick work of UFC bantamweight champion TJ Dillashaw this past weekend. Cejudo knocked out Dillashaw in under a minute to defend his 125-pound title. It was his first title defense since unseating Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson this past summer. Following his win, Cejudo was interviewed on the Ariel Helwani MMA show. During their conversation, Cejudo was asked about running into WWE stars the Bella twins.
Wait, hold on a second. Hold the story. They're saying they're divorced. See, now, the fact that I don't know this makes me a man, right? So I feel better about myself now. So they are divorced. Okay. I don't know much about the WWE. So didn't they just get engaged? Wait, hold on a second. Isn't this the broad? I could have sworn they were married. Isn't this the broad that was in the ring or something like that, and Cena made a big deal? He proposed during one of their
I have
events.
no idea. I don't watch it. I think that's for pussies, to be quite honest.
Well, listen, there are wrestling fans in here, and people like to see men in leotards go at it and fake fight. But I thought, wow, this is a quick breakup then, huh? All right, so let's find out more about this story.
All right, Cejudo was in first class with the Bella twins and said he used his niece to talk to Nikki Bella, who he has a crush on. Cejudo said, quote, Nikki Bella's been like my biggest crush. I was sitting next to her, and I'm thinking, how am I going to approach this? My little niece is 9 years old, and she loves the Bella twins. She was Nikki Bella for Halloween. So I approached them and said, this is my niece. Would you give her a shout out? It would mean the world to me. So I used my niece to talk to her. Now they're following me on social media. Nikki Bella saw Cejudo's interview and offered a response. She congratulated him on his win over Dillashaw. The WWE star then said she'd like to train with him in Arizona. Bella also said she'd send him some of her wine and maybe they can get a drink together in the future. Check out Bella's response.
Okay, before you give Bella's response, Kanata says Nikki Bella forced Cena to propose during WrestleMania. His dumbass got on his knee. He bent the knee. So basically he proposed to her. They never got married. This is according to the chat room. The chat room knows it all over here. That's why the MMA holes are wonderful, wonderful.
Bellator just wants a cloud.
breaking over here. So I didn't know about this. So now they were supposed to get married. They didn't. John Cena probably made the right move. Shout out to the guys out there. that get on the knee, but know enough to back off when things are getting too close to getting married, right? Sometimes people make the mistake, they get married and they're like, oh, fuck, look what I did.
Yeah,
but
why
John
do you need a
Cena's
piece
smart.
of paper to justify that you're in a fucking relationship?
All
Just
right,
tell people you're in a
so
relationship.
now wait, hold on a second. So she's fucking John Cena. Okay, let me wrap my head around this. Let me wrap my Henry Cejudo-sized head around this. She's fucking John Cena. So she climbs on top of this ape of a man who's got muscles on top of muscles. His muscles work out on their own. Like when he's sleeping, his muscles go to the gym and they do some more working out. Hold on a second.
You can't stop the Siberian Express. Choo-choo, motherfucker.
Henry Cejudo's ex-girlfriend.
That Nikki Bella chick is about to be charmed. Henry is nice. The issue is when he pulls his pants down. He's literally 3 inches hard. Having sex with Henry is like being fucked by an infant's thumb. That midget Henry ain't an Olympian in bed.
Oh, thank you for the donation. Look at that. What a donation that was. Henry Cejudo's ex-girlfriend. Who would have thought Henry Cejudo's ex-girlfriend watched the show? So let me get this straight. So she's banging John Cena, right? Look, we got a new MMA hole over here, Justy. Say hello to Jacob.
Hello, Jacob McPherson.
All right. So she's banging John Cena. They're about to get married, and then that doesn't happen. So now she downsizes, right? And now she's interested in Henry Cejudo, who is 5'4". John Cena.
How tall is she?
I mean, she's definitely taller than him, I would imagine.
No, I don't think she's taller than Henry Cejudo.
All right, let's look it up. Look up Nikki Bella's height as I get the video ready to be played. And there they are together. Actually, she doesn't look that tall. There's Henry next to them. If you're listening on Podbean and iTunes, we're showing pictures.
She's 5'6", so she's 2 inches taller.
She's got 2 inches on Cejudo.
Yeah.
All right, John Cena. Here we go. Dirty Dan saying John Cena is 6'2". All right, 6'2", plowing a 5'6" girl over here, putting the brajol right between the legs. And now Henry Cejudo. Now he's got to have to crawl into the vagina to get her pregnant. Like he's got to crawl his whole body inside the vagina to get her pregnant, right? Like John Cena goes in there. He's probably the size of John Cena's cock.
I don't know where she was going with Cejudo because I mean you're right, he is pretty short, but on the same token, I wouldn't fuck John Cena either.
Hello in there. Hey man, are you ready for sex? And he just fucking crawls between her legs into her pussy. He just crawls in and out of her pussy. Yeah. Right? Is that what he does? All right. So Henry Cejudo. Let's see what happens over here. This is Henry Cejudo's Instagram. Is this where I'm playing, or is this a video, or no?
No. Scroll down a little bit. This is Bella's response.
That's some picture of it.
Stop the Siberian Express. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
All right. Vladimir Ryu, MMA.
John is innocent. He's a man of God. Now Mosin JBH, shame on you.
Shame.
That study is absolutely correct. It's pulsing. I'm an expert in this field. I shoot HGH in my shoulders. Like the last donation. I'm immediately though about this size of his cock. Lol. SMH.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I mean, but let's be honest. You know, everyone is thinking the same fucking thing when it comes to Henry Cejudo, right? You think John Cena, the guy's tremendous. And for those of you who don't know who John Cena is, he does this, right? He used to do
annoying.
This. Right?
He's so annoying.
He used to rap and shit like that. But listen, he
must be like a horrible person to live with.
Why?
Everything he does is annoying. Just the way he looks is annoying.
Well, I mean, listen, he makes a lot of money. He's in fantastic shape. You know, he's a big masculine man.
Not attractive in the slightest.
I mean, no one could be as attractive as me, right? Let's be honest, Jesse.
It's true.
This is the truth. But now Henry Cejudo, like you think about this, you know, she's ordering from the adult menu. Now she's going to the kids menu, right? Let's see what we got over here. Henry Cejudo wins. They were hanging out together. These twins. Wow, is he gonna fuck both girls? Mm-hmm. Oh, he's gonna plow both of them. All right. So let's see what the Bella girl has to say as we play the video.
What up, Henry? So I
oh God,
just saw your interview on Ariel's podcast, and wow, thank you very much.
Oh, I hate that fucking voice. Shut up.
I want to say, first of all, congrats on your really big win. I would like to think that, you know, maybe possibly I was a good luck charm.
Clear your fucking throat.
You know, meeting you on the flight. And I'm hoping maybe one day in Arizona you can train me before I get back into that ring, because I think you have a few moves that you could show me that, you know, really could take it to the women. And hey, I mean, I know you're cutting weight and all, but maybe one day we could, you know, grab a drink, or I don't know, I should actually...
Or I could suck your cock?
Send you a bottle of Bella Radici wine for your victory. So I'll do that. All right. Again, congrats on your big victory. That was amazing.
Wow. I think she wants the D.
I think she wants the D.
Fucking A. She sounds like a smoker, right?
No, she sounds like she just has vocal fry from living in the West Coast.
Do you think Henry Cejudo's going to plow this? Ariel Helwani, I saw it put it on social media, and then Henry was messaging about this. I mean, hey, good for Henry. If he's getting his dick wet, knock yourself out. You won the brand new belt, right? Let's go on Henry Cejudo's Instagram. As much as we fuck around over here, I mean, good for Henry. He's getting ass. He's 5. What other, like, think about it. He's 5'4", and I mean, nothing against short people. We love short people, tall people. We love everyone over here. But you're 5'4", right? Your head is the size of a fucking planet, and you know.
Yeah, I don't think they'll last long, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
No, I think they'd get together, but I don't think they would last long because Nikki Bella seems like a very superficial type of woman. And I think that right now she's just infatuated with the idea, but I think that once they start dating for a little while, she's gonna be like, "Fuck, he's 2 inches shorter than me," and then she's gonna bounce, guaranteed.
Here's Henry Cejudo in bed with the belt, the brand new belt over here, the first person to win the belt. What an accomplishment, right? He beats TJ Dillashaw. He gets the brand new belt. I mean, people don't like the belt. I'm not a huge fan of the belt, but that's kind of cool, you know. He's the first one to grab the new strap. So he's got a lot going for him, Henry Cejudo. And listen, he's come from tough times. So to win a gold medal, to grab the UFC belt, and then defend it against a 135-pound champ, all the credit in the world to Henry Cejudo over here. And now he's going to plow this Bella girl, right? I mean, what does it get any better, right? I hope he just fucks her and leaves her.
I bet they're sexting right now.
You think so?
Yeah.
So you think they're an item, Jesse?
I think they're sexting and nobody knows it.
Yeah, Mark Jackson says, who wouldn't plow her? I mean, she is.
To think that, you know,
she is pretty.
Yeah.
Like most girls, you know, the voice is annoying. If you could do what you do with dogs, you know, when dogs bark too much, you pull the voice box out. I wish we could do that with women sometimes.
No, when you pull the voice box out, it sounds worse.
No, it's like. Could you imagine?
possibly I was.
Oh God! Imagine waking up to that.
A little bit like a smoker.
She sounds like she has too much phlegm.
Hmm.
Yeah. And she's buffering.
She is pretty though.
All right, there she is. All right, so there you go. Let's see what the chat says. Henry Cejudo about to plow this Bella broad.
Alex Jones says, I hope they have kids. Mac B says, did Jones actually pop or click a bait?
No, Jones. So, all right. So, to the new people jumping in over here, we're going through the MMA news, and there really isn't much to talk about over here. The story dropped before we went live. We threw it into the news. Real quickly, Jesse, just sum up what the situation is with Jon Jones.
He was tested again by VADA for the UFC 232 fight, a post-fight test that came back positive, but it was for the same metabolite, and they are saying that it was because of a pulsating effect that takes place for the rest of however long Jon Jones exists, because it's going to be in his system forever.
That's right, Jon Jones. So he failed again? I don't know, but it's for the same thing, so it's not really a big deal. So, I mean, it's not much to go too crazy about, but there is a lot of stories about this. A lot of people are saying that, you know, it's what he is doing. He's microdosing, and people don't like this, and I don't blame him. You know, there's a lot of shady shit going on around Jon Jones. We're going to open up the phone lines in a little bit, so if you want to hang out and give us a call, that will happen in a little bit, but we got to get to the rest of the news. Jesse, what else we got?
According to MMA Fighting, Kelvin Gastelum aims to bring legitimacy to 185 and predicts a KO of Robert Whittaker.
Yeah.
Yes. Gastelum will head to UFC middleweight champion Robert Whittaker's home turf and challenge him for a title in the main event of UFC 234 on February 9th in Melbourne, Australia. And the Yuma Aris native and Ultimate Fighter 17 winner has never felt more confident.
You can't stop the Siberian Express. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
Vladimir Ryu?
Those two chicks are going to tag team Cejudo. Good for him. Lol. I hope Cejudo Snapchats John Cena while he's banging her like she wanted a real fighter. Winking face.
That'd be great, right? You see John Cena, the Bella twins in the bed, and Henry Cejudo just scurrying around the bed naked with his little cock hanging around. He's like, look at this Ming. He's fucking with the just videotaping it and putting it on his story, tagging John Cena.
Yeah.
I mean, John Cena seems like the type of guy that would sit in the corner and jerk off to that, right?
No, I think that John Cena's the kind of guy who could probably go out and get pussy anytime he wanted to, but I just don't find him attractive. I have no idea how.
Well, I didn't ask you if you found him attractive. I'm just saying I think he's a cuck.
This is my personal opinion. Like, I think that he is the kind of guy who can go out and grab a bunch of pussy.
Why? If you don't,
I just don't understand how.
If you don't, Yeah, but if you don't think he's attractive, how is he going out and getting that
Just because
pussy?
I don't find him attractive doesn't mean that other women can't find him attractive.
Interesting. All right, back to Kelvin Gastelum over here.
Gastelum doesn't mind saying he doesn't think his bout with Whitaker at Rod Laver Arena will go long before he ends matters in a decisive manner, saying, quote, "I'm predicting a first-round knockout. I've put in so much work and I feel so confident in my abilities and confident in what I've done in the sport that I'm predicting a first-round knockout." But Gastelum isn't just predicting he'll come home from Australia as the owner of one of those new-fangled UFC legacy belts. Gastelum believes that he'll also be the man who goes on a dominant run at 185 pounds after what's been something of a muddled period at the top of the division. That period, which can be traced back to Bisping getting upsetting Luke Rockhold at UFC 199 in 2016, has included interim titles, champions missing long periods with injuries, and GSP coming out of retirement to beat Bisping and then vacate the belt. And while Whitaker has emerged from an extended scrum as a legit champ, Gastelum believes he's the fighter who's best suited to go on a long run with the title.
That would be something else if Kelvin Gastelum knocks out Robert Whitaker. That would be something else. And listen, he's got pop. He's got hands. Man, could you imagine he's the middleweight champ? That'd be insanity. And then Tyron Woodley comes back for the rematch, tries to challenge him for the belt. I love it. I love the story. I don't think he's beaten Whitaker, but I've been wrong about Gastelum before. You know, I've made mistakes. Most of the time I've picked him, but I've been wrong before. And in this fight, I'm still going with Robert Whitaker. I mean, it's tough to bet against a Robert Whitaker. It really is. The guy is so fucking well-rounded, and his striking is legit. But Kelvin Gastelum, this son of a bitch, he proves a lot of people wrong. So what do you think about him knocking out Whitaker, Jess?
I don't know. I honestly, why are you laughing?
No, I laugh because this happens like once or twice every show. It's the best.
No, I'm here.
Yeah, no, I know you're here.
I'm not zoned out like I usually am.
I know you're here, but I'm saying like most shows when hosts go back and forth and they're talking about like a topic or something like that.
I was thinking about it.
Yeah, but we're not most shows. That's what's great about it.
Yeah,
like,
nobody's gonna hire me.
Like, yeah.
Who cares?
Who gives a shit? Like, that's what you got to say. Like if I'm like, Jess, who do you think's going to win that fight? You're like, I don't give a fuck.
I think it's a good fight. No, listen, I think it's a good fight. I was thinking about it. I do think it's a good fight. I don't know. I don't know if he's actually going to knock him out or not.
Yeah? Could you imagine you work for a big network? Like you have ESPN. Could you imagine Karen Bryant?
Well, that's why we're making our own big network over here.
Karen Bryant.
So we don't have a boss. We don't have to work for anybody.
But think about this. Well, we're not really working over here. We're just having a good time.
That's right.
But imagine Karen Bryant.
It's like, yeah, this is how this is going to go. It's going to be a great event. It's going to be fantastic.
And Michael Bisping asked her a question about something. He's like,
I don't know.
she's never lost for words. So you never know it, Jesse. You never know what's going to come out of her mouth over there. Jesse, what happened? Do you see Karen Bryant doing this, getting distracted in the show like a cat? What the fuck was that?
I've noticed my anxiety goes down during shows if I'm playing with something, and I've been playing with this guitar pick the entire show.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so what else do we have in the news? What a shit show. If you're not subscribed, give us a sub.
Right.
And welcome back, old and new friends, to the MMA-Holes. Jesse, what else we got?
Okay. According to MMA Fighting, Rory McDonald versus John Fitch title fight at Bellator Grand Prix first round is slated for April. Rory McDonald is back in the welterweight division and set to embark on a historic assignment defending his Bellator title throughout a Grand Prix tournament. McDonald will fight John Fitch on April 27th in San Jose, California, sources told MMA Fighting this week. The bout will have a twofold meaning. The Bellator welterweight title will be on the line. Donation.
You can't stop the Siberian Express. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
Doc Dreamer.
Nikki likes that Henry's mushroom with big head and tiny stock. Henry's probably wanking to her husky voice right now.
Maybe. Or maybe it's sexting. If it's sexting, then she has no husky voice for him to wank to, unless he's wanking the Twitter video. McDonald will fight John Fitch on April 27th in San Jose, California. The bout will have a twofold meaning. The Bellator welterweight title will be on the line, and the winner will advance out of Bellator welterweight Grand Prix first round. McDonald versus Fitch will be 5 rounds, though it's unclear if it's scheduled to be the main event of the card. Bellator has yet to announce the San Jose event or the planned bout. McDonald is 20-5, most recently moved up to middleweight for a super fight against champion Gegard Mousasi in September. Mousasi defeated McDonald by second-round TKO. McDonald is 29 years old, defeated Douglas Lima to win the Bellator welterweight title in January 2018. Fitch is 31-7-1 with one no contest, is one of the most accomplished 170-pound fighters in MMA history. The Bellator card is in San Jose, does not yet have another targeted bouts. Bellator 214 takes place this coming Saturday, headlined by the Bellator Heavyweight World Grand Prix final between Fedor Emelianenko and Ryan Bader. The winner becomes Bellator Heavyweight Champion.
In the chat, I would like to know, do you think that Mousasi has broke Rory McDonald? Is Rory McDonald going to come back He
certainly broke his nose.
Yeah, I mean, Rory was fucked up in that fight. And now he's fighting John Fitch, the title fight, going to defend the belt. So let me know in the chat what you think about that. This weekend we'll be reacting to Fedor versus Ryan Bader. If you go over to BetDSI, you can see that Fedor is the underdog. He's getting a plus 258. So 258 is what Fedor's getting. So, put some money on him, man. Right? Make some cash on the last emperor.
That's right.
A couple of things to look out for here. Anderson Silva, a plus 519. Now, I know Adesanya, everyone's high on this kid, the style bender, but could you imagine if we see vintage Anderson Silva and you win some money on that? So if you want to win a little extra cash, link in the description, BetDSI, promo code MMAHOLE. All right, let's see what the chat says.
Internal says Fedor smash, bet on Fedor. David Flores Jr. says let's go back to Cejudo and the Gash, the hot wrestler twin. Henry, bro, if you see this, eat her booty.
Whoa.
Keith Polarecki says, how old is Fedor now? 110? Grease Dog says Henry can only microdose sperm with that Tic Tac. Bella's getting a brown breath mint. All right. Fletcher Ray MMA says no way Rory will come back. If anyone broke him, it would have been the 5-rounder with Robbie Lawler. Too Bad says what happened to Tiger Life? What happened to One Bad? Internal.
You got fucking roasted. 20 likes.
20 likes, 20 likes, I've got fucking 20 likes, 20 likes, 20 likes, I've got fucking 20 likes, 20 likes, 20 likes, I've got fucking 20 likes.
I hope the dislikes die of leprosy.
If you're just jumping in, I know a lot of people out there are like, what is going on with Jon Jones? He spoke about this in the beginning of the show. Jon Jones, well, he did test positive, but it's for the same thing. So he is not in trouble. He is not in trouble right yet. But, he's back in the news. If you want to see the article, it's on MMAHoles.com, the MMAHoles.com. You can check it out over there. We're going to open up the phone lines, get people's thoughts on that as we continue along with this show. Jesse, how do you think the show is going so far?
So wonderful, wonderful.
Speaking of wonderful, wonderful, check this out over here. I have a box in my hand, and it's from MMA Bobblehead. That's right, MMA Bobblehead. They sent us, well, let me show it over here. This is going to Ann H., this box. We're going to be sending this out to Ann H. along with Jessica's got to send her address so she gets a
Jessica
shirt.
G, you have until Friday, bro. So send that shit, because if you don't, then that T-shirt goes to the second raffle winner, Joshua Reyes.
Joshua Reyes is getting an autographed hat from us. Look at that. He won that. If you guys want to be entered into some more contests, patreon.com. You can check it out. Link in the description. Become a patron and become part of our private community. But let's go to MMA Bobblehead over here and shout out to our existing patrons. Wonderful, wonderful peoples over there. Bobblehead. Give them a shout out. This is really cool. They did a little thing on it's MMA Bobblehead. You could check them out. I mean, you got Mark Wahlberg holding this thing over here, and that is the Cowboy Cerrone bobblehead. They sent it to us, and we are sending it to Ann H. So it's very kind of MMA Bobblehead to send that over to us. So Ann H., congratulations. That will be on its way. Make sure you slide into our DMs and send your address again. I know we sent a million things to you, but send your address again, and we'll shoot that shite out. There we go. All right, so what else do we have in the news, JBH?
Well, according to the Bleacher Report, UFC reportedly targeting Yoel Romero versus Paulo Costa fight for April.
Good stuff.
A middleweight battle between Yoel Romero and Paulo Costa could potentially headline UFC Fight Night on April 27th. Combat first reported the possible bout, and according to Brett Okamoto of ESPN.com, the UFC is targeting the bout as a headliner. However, Romero is currently competing in a reality TV show, Exathlon, and has been unavailable to confirm the fight. The UFC could finalize the match as soon as next month. Organizers have reportedly been attempting to get this fight together for months, including UFC 230 in November, but the two sides have failed to complete a deal. Romero is coming off a second loss to Robert Whittaker in June, but has been filling his time in other ways. The first episode of the season for Exathlon aired on Monday.
There you go. I hope this happens. Let me know in the chat. Will this finally happen? Costa versus Yoel Romero, yes or no? Let's see what's going on in that chat. 130 people watching on a Wednesday night. Thank you for joining us. Remember, we have a podcast, Podbean and iTunes, completely free. You can go download or live stream our shit over there as well if you want the audio versions of our show. Let's see what we got.
Internal says yes. Infinite Conscious says Jon Jones is a disease that won't go away. Buzz Kogar says no. HRH Ryan Conrad IV says, did I miss the Hardy convo? Would love to weigh in.
We're going to bring it back and we're going to open up a phone line, so hang in there.
Roberto Hernandez says roids versus roids. Steven Johnson says he is unreal, that Cuban killer. Internal says go down. Kanoto74 says nope. Costa going to get another injury. He wants no part of Romero. Manny C says Nikki will use Henry as a pillow after sex.
Whoa.
Wonderful.
All right, according to MMA Mania, there is a new poster out for Edson Barbosa versus Justin Gaethje set as UFC on ESPN2 headliner on March 30th in Philadelphia.
It's a pretty groundbreaking poster we have over here.
Yes, a hard-hitting lightweight showdown is set to invade Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as UFC has officially booked a fantastic fight between Edson Barbosa and Justin Gaethje, headlined on UFC on ESPN2 on March 30th, 2019. Barbosa recently snapped a 2-fight skid after he dominated Dan Hooker. Speaking of which, Gaethje also got back on the winning track in his last outing by knocking out James Vick in 87 seconds last August in Lincoln, Nebraska. Now he will look to add to his already impressive highlight reel when he takes on a man who, like himself, prefers to stand and bang.
Love it. Love this fight. Dangerous one for Gaethje. He don't give a fuck. He's reckless. He'll keep it on the feet. Brains are going to be splatter all over the octagon. I am in. Lock me in. 130 people watching. Let me know in the chat. Are you an OG or a new G? Let me know in the chat right now. Even if you subscribe today, you're an OG. You're immediately an OG. Let me know if you're watching for the first time, new G, and if you have been subscribed or if you are subscribed, you are an OG. Let me know right now in the chat as we go to the next story.
All right, according to MMA Mania, coach says Daniel Cormier will prolong retirement, but won't retire to light heavyweight to fight Jon Jones.
Let's see what the chat says as they're
Internal says Gay Cheeks OG. Michael Anzalone says OG. Patrick Heitch OG. Manny C OG. Dirty Dan deleted his message. Boss Kogar says I want to see Costa versus Adesanya. NH Old OG. Steve Johnson Barbosa has a great style, the best kicks, and excellent takedown defense. Mick Action MMA says found you on the ESPN Pulse card. OG go. Says 78 Sound. Khalil Rosa OG. Patrick Hike OG for over a year. Vlad
Nice.
Ryu says new fag. You're not new, Vlad. Boss Kogar says I'm a medium G. HRH Ryan Conrad IV says in between. Sadly, not as present as I'd like to be. Adore this channel. Carlos Morales says Jones sniffed my ass and tested positive for anabolics. OG says DDS Alcoholics. Dirty Dan Nightbot G. Steve Johnson says biggest loser. It's true. Law of Attraction says old Chi-Chi liquor. Angel says, I will smash Khabib. Colin says, hey, MMA-Holes just started watching after the fight on Saturday. Beat decision, or best decision of my life.
There you go. Colin, you are wonderful. Like to see all these faces in the chat. Glad you could join us on a Wednesday night. Wednesdays are wonderful. Mondays are wonderful. Fridays are wonderful. And this Saturday, we will be reacting again. Fedor versus Ryan Bader. You got the Picogram versus Henry Corrales, which is a tough fight for Aaron Pico. Does he get the win over there? We have Hager versus Kaiser. We have Archuleta versus Bandejas. That's right. And McMahon versus Altamimi. We're just going to be reacting to this on Saturday. Jesse, what else we got?
All right. According to MMA Mania, while their heavyweight shit show was announced all the way back at UFC 226, things have not been progressing as quickly as they should have. And as of writing, Lesnar is not yet clear to make his Octagon return. UFC is expected to say goodbye to reigning heavyweight champion Daniel Cormier after the Olympian turns 40 in March. That's assuming DC can score his retirement fight pay-per-view against said Brock Lesnar. Maybe they're still looking at that runaway sample. Mendez told BJPen.com, quote, now the retirement thing is going to be prolonged. I don't know. 1 fight, 2 fight, 3 fight, and who knows? The best scenario is for him to fight Brock Lesnar and finish. For me, he is done with the light heavyweight division, so I think he fights Brock. If not, there's always this rematch. Cormier relinquished his light heavyweight title when Jon Jones came back to fight Alexander Gustafsson at UFC 232. While they certainly have unfinished business, especially considering this, it sounds like a potential bones rematch would have to take place at heavyweight. Sounds like Jones is game.
Okay, well, Jones is game, but before we went live, we found out about this. Jon Jones, he tested positive once again, but it's for the same thing. I just think this is another reason why we are not going to see Jones versus DC. You know, maybe if a lot of time passes, maybe if Daniel Cormier does sign on for 3 more fights and Jon Jones is clean for a couple of fights, maybe we will get a chance to see that as DC's last fight. But as of now, we are not seeing it. We are definitely not going to see DC versus Jon Jones. Well, Jon Jones has to face Anthony Smith, which I feel should be a fairly easy fight for him. He's a heavy favorite in that fight. So the odds of him fighting Daniel Cormier right now are slim to none. If he stays clean, if he gets a couple more wins, which he probably will, then we will see the fight. Let's see what the chat says. Do you think Jon Jones and DC will dance once again?
Steve Johnson says, I'll stuff my shoes in my own ass if DC fights Brock. Khabib Ghost says, DC too afraid Jones head kicks him to death. Fax says, DC versus Kane. Michael Zillin says, I would love to see
You can't stop the Siberian Express. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
78 Sound.
Keep up the good work. Great channel.
Oh, why thank you, 78 Sound. Thank you very, very much. Very, very kind of you to say. Cole Vic says, no. Bye, Jay. Dan says, right. Infinite Conscious says, Jones should never fight again. McAction, if the UFC pays enough. Zach Neiser says they will fight again. Keith Polarecki says, absolutely they will fight. Dirty Dan, 2 dead baby. I don't know what that means. Steve Johnson says, I love the Siberian Express. Colin Brennan, 111 says, honestly, only interested if it's at heavyweight. Hello, Chris and Jesse says, Sean Hart. Hello, Sean
What up, Sean Hart? What's going on? Let's see what else we have in the news so we can open up the phone lines. I really want to get your thoughts on Hardy, Jon Jones failing again. A lot of people saying he's microdosing. So I want to get your thoughts on this, but we have to get through the news over here. If you want to check out the news for yourself, it's on the MMAHOles.com. Jesse?
All right. According to MMA Mania, Demetrius Johnson is open to a Henry Cejudo trilogy fight, but not in North America.
Whoa!
Super chat.
HRH Ryan Conrad.
I'll reserve a call on the Hardy situation if possible.
Whoa!
Grinning face with big eyes. Hope all is well, guys. Always a pleasure to be in the chat and see you guys.
Look at this over here.
Thoughts are with our boy in rehab.
There you go.
Right.
Shout out to Drunk Savage and HRH Ryan Conrad jumping in. Thank you for the 10 spot over there. If you guys and girls want to donate, link in the description. You can fart on Jesse. You got the Chris Cyborg shopping cart donation, or you could drop a super chat. Thank you. All right. Thank you for the donation over there. And thank you everyone that donated and joining us on this dysfunctional night. All right, let's talk about this. A rematch. Well, not a trilogy fight.
Yes.
I kind of want to see a trilogy fight.
All right. Henry Cejudo scored his second consecutive monumental win in this past weekend. That's just 6 months after dethroning Demetrius Johnson, the most dominant champion in the UFC history. Cejudo took Mighty Mouse down at UFC 227 last August via unanimous decision, getting one back from the ex-flyweight champ after getting knocked out by Johnson in the very first round 2 years ago. As far as breaking the tie, Demetrius is all for it, but it won't be going down inside the octagon or North America for that matter. Johnson said, quote, at the end of the day, you never know what could happen. I'll tell you what though, I'll never go back to North America.
Wow.
So the only way we'd compete against each other is if he came over here. It all depends on what happens in the UFC. A lot of things would have to fall in order, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. Cejudo isn't opposed to taking his talents overseas. Johnson ended his tenure with the UFC late last year as he was traded to one championship. In his short time with the promotion, Mighty Mouse can appreciate the vast differences between the UFC and his new company despite not having competed for one yet. Above all else, not having to worry about pay-per-view numbers makes for a happier life.
Keith says if they get rid of 125, will Cejudo move to 1? And the answer is yes. I mean that seems like a no-brainer. I feel the first L that Cejudo takes, he pack your bags, you're going to 1. I can tell that Dana White does not like Henry Cejudo.
I don't think it's that he doesn't like Henry Cejudo. I think he just wants the 125 division gone, and in order to do that, he's got to get rid of Cejudo. I don't think he has any animosity towards him personally.
even if he can compete at 135, which is very possible because he cuts a lot of weight to get to 125, I would like to see a even more beefed up, healthier Henry at 135. It's interesting. It doesn't matter about his height. I mean, the guy's wrestling. He could bring some power up. It would be interesting to see him at 135. But I have a feeling, it's really strange here. I have a feeling that Henry Cejudo, his days are numbered with the UFC. I really do. And he's a 125-pound champ right now. He's on top of the world. But just like this, I can see him in one. It makes sense. You know, it sucks. 125-pound weight class, days numbered. That's it. It's just a matter of time before it's gone. So it sucks for those fighters, but at least you have a place in one. All right, let's see what else we have in the news.
According to MMAnews.com, Holly Holm believes potential Amanda Nunes matchup happens at bantamweight.
I like that. Holly Holm, Amanda Nunes at bantamweight.
All right. Holly Holm could very well be on her way back to a championship fight soon. The 37-year-old was once defeated in her mixed martial arts career. She made a name for herself by becoming the first woman to defeat Ronda Rousey in MMA competition. However, she followed that up with a 3-fight losing streak against the likes of Miesha Tate, Valentina Shevchenko, and Jermaine Durandamy. Holm followed that up with a third-round knockout over Beth Correa in Singapore. That led to a featherweight title shot against Chris Cyborg at UFC 219. The pay-per-view goes down from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada on March 2nd. Speaking to MMA Fighting recently, Holm discussed possibly earning a women's bantamweight title opportunity with a win over Ladd. That means she'd be standing across the cage from 135-pound and 145-pound champ Amanda Nunes. If the fight took place, Holm believes the fight would go down at 135
I like
pounds.
that. I like it a lot. Holly Holm is not a dumb fighter. She's been in situations where people are like, she's fucking boring, but she's also been in some electrifying fights, and she head kicked Ronda Rousey, lit the world on fire with that over there. Holly Holm is tough. She's smart. Yes, she went the distance with Cyborg, and it wasn't the most fun fight to watch, but she fought it smart, and she would fight against Amanda Nunes very intelligently. Julio, what's up? I would like to see that. Let me know in the chat if you'd like to see that. Jess,
Yes?
do you want to see that fight?
I agree with everything that you said. I think it'd be great. It'd be fantastic.
Yeah, why not?
Right.
Give Holly, imagine Holly finds a way to get the belt back again.
Yeah.
That'd be insane. All right, let's see what the chat's. And Holly's not getting any younger, though. I mean, how old
You
is
know
Holly?
what? But neither is Nunez. I mean, actually, you know what? Who's
I think Holly's
older?
like 34 or 35 years old, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's see.
Henry, 125 champ, 135 champ soon, says Rev 6. So Rev 6 is saying that he's going to be a double champ very soon.
Nunez is 30.
Nunez is 30 years old, yes. 37 is Holly. Look at that. Holly Holm, 37 years old, pushing 40. Well, she just got divorced, so she has some anger issues. So
Well, she's probably happier now.
she could fuck it. She's going to fuck up some bitches over there. The single Holly Holm getting ready to take off some lesbian heads. All right, let's see what else we have over here. I want to get to the phone lines.
All right, according to the Bleacher Report, ex-UFC champ Fabricio Verdum rescues a drowning swimmer in California. While former UFC champion Fabricio Verdum has been faced with plenty of challenges in the octagon, nothing from his fighting career could have prepared him for the life-or-death situation he recently found himself in. According to Brazilian website agfight.com, Verdum has on the beach near his home in Torrance, California on Sunday when he noticed two people struggling in the water. It was then that the 41-year-old sprung into action. Verdum recalled the situation, saying, quote, "We had been on the beach for almost an hour. When we saw the fireman's car, the car stopped in front of us. I said I was going to help, and Kareem, his wife, was in doubt because it was dangerous, but when I looked, they had two little heads in the sea shouting help. They were very far, about 70 meters in, when the lifeguard picked up the board alone. I took off my coat and ran off. I took the orange buoy, I crossed it in the chest, and I arrived with him a little ahead still. I told him to get the girl, who was screaming a lot, and I got the boy, who was soft already. I was able to catch him, and we went towards the beach. Then on the border, a gentleman helped me. The waves were large. The buoy sank some 3 times. While the heart was the million, it's an extreme situation. The heart goes to 1 million. It's worse than fighting. It does not even come close."
Does this make up for his steroid use and boomerang throwing?
There is a video that appears to show footage of Verdum exiting the ocean with the boy he rescued.
All right, let's see. Let's check this out. All right, let's see. We're going to go over here. We're going to zoom in. We're going to zoom in. Verzoom.
Haha.
All right.
Nailed it.
You like that?
Yeah,
All right,
that's
so we're going to do this. We're going to try to zoom in so the kids could see, right? Let's go like this.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Look at this. Look at this shit. Jesse, check this out.
You're so smart.
I'm a fucking very intellectual man. All right, here we go. All right, so this is the video. Here's Verdum. He's going out there. It's even still. So, it's just him.
That's it? That's all they give us?
They're walking in the water with a boy. There you go. What a video.
Oh, wow.
That was something else.
What a rescue that was.
Here, check it out again. Let's zoom in.
That was so heroic.
Look at that. For Doom, what a hero.
We're watching a hero right here.
Well, listen, if he saved a young boy, good for him, man. Congratulations to Verdum. A goddamn superhero now. I'm jerking off to your technical abilities. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time, right? All right, let's see what else we have in the news. We're going to get back to the Jon Jones situation, Greg Hardy as well. And make sure, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's play a little ad here. Shout out to our sponsor, BetDSI. They are a wonderful, wonderful link in the description.
Don't miss out on betting the best moments in sports with BetDSI.com. We'll double your money with a 100% bonus on your first deposit. Bet at home, bet on your phone, and bet live during your favorite game.
BetDSI. Yes. And also, if you sign up with the promo code MMAHOLE, the Bella twins will come over and play with your penis, Jesse. Did you know about this?
I didn't because I don't have a penis, but now I know.
Well, you'll grow a penis and they'll play with it.
I'll put a strap-on on.
Yeah, check it out. BetDSI, everything over there. We were saying during the week, if you're going to be watching the Super Bowl, you could bet on anything. Anything during the Super Bowl, NBA, NFL, fucking MMA, boxing. They have a casino over there. You can bet on reality TV. So if you just want to have fun, throw a couple of bucks around. Link in the description. BetDSI. All right, Jesse, what else do we have in the news?
All right, according to BJPenn.com, Jose Aldo reacts to his underdog status against Renato Moicano. Former UFC featherweight champ Jose Aldo is slated to return to the cage on February 2nd, where he will battle surging featherweight contender Renato Moicano in a high-stakes showdown.
Nice.
Despite all of his previous accomplishments, Jose Aldo has been labeled as the betting underdog heading into this fight. He currently sits at plus 130, meaning a successful $100 bet on him would win you $130. Moicano, meanwhile, has been pegged as the minus 150 favorite, meaning a 150 bet on him would win you just $100. While it's always surprising to see Jose Aldo as an underdog, he doesn't seem to be the least bit bothered by his status as such. In fact, to put it bluntly, he doesn't give a shit about gambling and how it pertains to his fights. He says, quote, "I couldn't care less about it. I don't give a shit. I don't care about gambling at all. I'm only interested in my training, my team, and my potential to get in there and win my fights." Jose Aldo has last fought in July when he delivered a crushing body shot stoppage of Jeremy Stephens. With his victory, the featherweight legend rebounded from a pair of stoppage losses to reigning champ Max Holloway. He's 27-4 overall. Renato Moicano, on the other hand, is 13-1-1. He's riding a submission defeat off Cub Swanson and has only ever lost to recent title challenger Brian Ortega.
I kind of like that. Jose Aldo he's a plus 130 over here in BetDSI, so not a bad bet. Mm-hmm. What do you think on the chat? You think that's a good or a bad bet? Let us know. All right.
One more.
Winding it down, we're going to open up the phone lines. We're going to get your thoughts on Johnny Bones Jones, Greg Hardy, and any of the stories that we spoke about tonight. Holly Holm, what's it called? Cejudo banging the Bella twins. Whatever you want to talk about. We'll open up the phone lines, and let's go to the last story.
According to MMA Mania, Joe Rogan has changed his mind about retiring from the UFC.
Wow, Edmund's not happy about that.
Believe it or not, living in fear of welterweight bully Colby Covington is not enough to keep Joe Rogan away from the UFC broadcast table. In fact, the
Your mind is in the intro, Jesse.
No, my
Someone
mind
needs to fart on you.
It's part-time funny man. It's like a tongue twister. Part-time funny man, so I said fart-time punny man.
I like fart-time punny man.
Yeah. The part-time funny man plans to hang around for a foreseeable future because the promotion was good enough to reduce his workload and keep him from becoming a network sports guy. A solid reward for someone who helped the UFC grow so fast. Rogan said, quote, "I do enjoy it. I cut way back because, first of all, I was doing too many of them. At one point, I was doing 24 a year. It was way too many. It was like half of the weekends of the year. I was flying somewhere to go to the UFC. It was too much." Rogan was burned out by the travel schedule and increased number of events, which had the former Fear Factor host contemplating retirement at a few points throughout his career, including here. He said, quote, "That was before the UFC really started adding a bunch of people, and it took a lot of weight off of me. I don't think about retiring because I like what I do. So I don't think about, oh, I need X amount of money in the bank, so I'm not going to do this for very much longer. I like all that stuff." So do we, even when it's cringeworthy.
There you go. All right, Joe Rogan's hanging around, and why not? It's a nice gig that he has over there. Although he really doesn't have to do much anymore. His podcast is booming.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan. I mean, he gets crazy gazillion views, and he's got his fight companion and all that stuff. He's got his stand-up comedy. He can do whatever the hell he wants. So good for Joe making that cash. Wherever he goes, whatever he touches is gold. Now, Jess, if you could tell the people in the chat, the new peeps that jumped in quickly on the Jon Jones situation, and then we are going to open up the phone lines.
Jon Jones has tested positive for the metabolite that was found in his system before UFC 232. Only this test was by USADA VADA after UFC 232. He is not being penalized by the California State Athletic Commission because they said that this was a result of the pulsating effect that the science behind it has shown. There is no other science that shows that he has been abusing steroids or metabolites since the last test was taken, so he's fine. It's the same metabolite, but he has, once again, tested positive.
All right, motherfuckers. Let's go. Opening up the phone lines. 516-522-0267. And there we go again. What is up with this camera? What the fuck?
You can't stop the Siberian Express. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
Choo-choo. White coons.
It's now a crime to smirk in front of a feather-capped brown Indian with a MAGA hat on. The facts don't matter as the media lies, destroying the lives of teenagers. Inciting death threats all because they were white with MAGA hats.
Yep.
Fuck fake news, Vox.
Oh, thanks for the insight.
What a donation over there. Thank you. All right. You are live with the MMA-Holes. What's your name? What is on your mind?
My man, sorry, one more time. Let me mute the stream.
What's going on?
Hey, how are you? HRH Conrad wanted to talk a little bit about Greg Hardy.
HRH from the chat.
What's up, HRH?
Hey, talking about Greg Hardy, you can't take a guy, and here's where I think Dana has went as far as he can take us. You cannot have a guy with those domestic abuse issues and then have him come into the UFC, give him that type of shot on a co-main event right out of the bat. He did the knee, which was, you look in the guy's eyes, it was nothing more than aggression. That was not being green. Brendan Schaub said it best. That is a character flaw. That is what he's about.
Yeah, that's a good point over there. I mean, Greg Hardy, there was something off. He walked into the cage, and I wasn't sure if it was a shtick. He was doing some sort of WWE thing, and then he gets into the cage, and listen, it's a fight, so you're fired up. The way he threw that knee, there was something behind it. There was something more. So I agree with this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think it was WWE style. I just think the man is, I don't want to say a psychopath. I'm not a psychologist or anything. I'm not. But listen, listen, like Schaub and even Shale said, there are very few rules in the UFC. He knew what he was doing when he threw that knee.
Mm-hmm.
And with all the Me Too movement and all that stuff going on, with, remind me of her name. I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank. I'm actually a little flustered. I'm talking to you guys.
it's Rachel Ostovich.
Ostrich tits.
Yeah. I mean, why would you put them on the same card? It makes no sense whatsoever.
All right,
Again,
thanks.
Dana has taken us as far as he can.
There you go. All right,
He
HRH.
has no.
Go ahead. Finish your point.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I don't want to.
No, I was going to cut you off rudely. I was going to cut you off rudely, but just finish your point over there.
He does that.
Well, Dana has taken us as far as he can. He has no eye on the ground for the future.
There you go. All right, HRH, thanks for the call. There you go.
Well, here's the thing. First of all, from my understanding, Rachel Ostovich did not know, and neither did nobody. Rachel Ostovich was already on the card, and they didn't put two and two together when they had scheduled Greg Hardy as the co-main event, and they didn't put two and two together until after it became a big hype. So there's that. But I don't know. I agree to a certain extent, but I just don't know if Greg Hardy's mental issues with domestic abuse and anger issues and shit like that, I don't know if that fully plays a part in what happened, because to me, and I know a lot of people are probably going to have a very different opinion, but to me, that was an intentionally unintentional type of situation. I agree that he doesn't belong on the co-main event, but I say put him in the prelims and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good with him gone for now. I don't want to banish him from the UFC, but I feel like he's kind of have to work his way back up a little bit. Fight outside of the UFC, local promotion or something like that, somewhere in Texas or something. I mean, listen, it is Greg Hardy, so I understand the UFC wants to capitalize on this guy. But I don't know. I have mixed emotions. You are live with the MMA-Holes. What's your name and what is on your minds?
It's Kevin from Chicago.
Kev, what's up, man?
Now, I just got a couple points to make real quick. So, the first test from USADA, I thought it came back that it was clean. Isn't that what they said? They said on a fight night, his fight night results came back and it was clean.
His post-fight test came back clean. But I guess there was this other test that they took. I'm not aware of it. It just came out today, and it was a VADA drug test. And it came back with the metabolites found in it. So I'm assuming he probably had 2 different tests, and one of them wasn't talked about until just now.
So it was someone's lying here. Either USADA's lying or VADA's lying. Something tells me it's not VADA. I think USADA is compromised. What do you guys think?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I think that when it comes to the difference between USADA and VADA, the results speak for themselves.
We got a donation coming in. Paulie Malignaggi checking in.
Check out Real Real's Twitter. 40-second clip on the great Italian Paulie speaking truth on Dana White. Title of the video is NY Italian Coon Speaks Truth on Real Real's Twitter. Kevin, how are the hookers in Chicago?
Oh, okay, that's a good question. How are the hookers in Chicago, Kevin?
They're all black. So,
oh, my God.
You know how that... Yeah. But anyways, I want to talk about Gregor Gillespie. I was listening to Alo Juban's podcast.
Okay.
And even he was saying the fight was boring. He's like, I don't want to talk about a fight. Boring fight, blah, blah, blah. It's like, even a fighter is going to say that it's boring, so what do you think the fans are going to say? If the fighter's going to say it's boring, of course the fans are going to say it. How do you think a fighter like that, Gregor, is kind of balancing the putting in the entertaining fights, but doing what's most important, getting the win, rising up the ranks? Like, how do you think he juggled that?
Thanks for Kevin for the call. All right, so... all right.
Wait, so repeat the question?
So Gregor Gillespie was apparently getting bashed by Alan Jaban for being boring. And the fight, listen, I go to Kamaru Usman. A lot of people say he's boring, his style of fighting. It was very similar. The difference in this one here, Gregor finished the fight. He finished a lot of his fights, Gregor. There is a balance, right? There is a balance over here. And Gregor is the other side of the equation. He doesn't like to do interviews. He doesn't like to
talk about his opponents.
Yeah, he doesn't like to do any of that stuff. And when he does do the interviews, he talks about fishing, right? So but he keeps it classy. He doesn't want to bash people. He wants to be respectful to his opponents. So you have to respect that, right? My problem is the direction that the UFC is going in right now. It doesn't fit into their plan. So if Gregor keeps on winning and he wins a title, right, and then he's got to do all this media and he's talking about fishing. Well, the UFC is going to do everything they can to get rid of this guy. That's what they're going to do. And it sucks because Gregor's a beast. He's what, 12-0 now or 13-0? He's has 6 wins in the UFC, if I'm not, or 5, I'm not sure, but the guy's on fire. So I think it's going to be interesting. I hope he wins a belt just to see how the UFC handles him. He's a unique situation. I think it's refreshing. He's from New York, so of course I'm going to root for the guy. I like how crazy and quirky he is, but I do feel that he is not going to sell too many pay-per-views. I don't think he's a big pay-per-view seller, so it's going to be interesting to see. What are your thoughts on Gregor?
I think I said it before. I think that he's going to be a name that everybody knows, but I don't think he's going to be this big fighter that's just going to sell a bunch of pay-per-views, and he's not going to put a lot of asses in seats. But yeah, I think people are going to know who he is for sure. And as far as his last fight, I agree. It wasn't the most eventful fight, but he won, so... no complaints.
I see Khabib Goat saying, how could he win the belt when Khabib is the champ? A lot of people are saying this. I didn't say this, but a lot of people are saying that he is the kryptonite to Khabib. I mean, they have a very similar style when it comes to their wrestling. It's fascinating. Khabib's bigger. And when it comes to wrestling over here, you got to think size matters, right? But Gregor just doesn't give up. He's got a gas tank. Khabib's got a gas tank. It would be a fascinating fight to see. Look how Al did against Khabib. Right? Think about that. Al went to decision. A lot of people are like, oh, Khabib didn't show his best performance over there, or he didn't train for Al particularly in the situations leading up to it. But Al did go a decision with him. So if Al goes a decision, why can't Gregor beat him? I don't know. I mean, you never know. That's why they do it. 20 likes.
20 likes. I've got fucking 20 likes. 20 likes. 20 likes.
Gregor the SJW Gillespie says Boneyard over there. So that's the nickname. 516, opening him up, back up. Open.
5, opening them back up.
Thank you.
220267.
516-522-0267 is our number. Look at this. We made a bunch of friends tonight. 17,134 subscribers. Thank you. You are wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful.
See what's going on in that chat room.
JR Smooth is scripted, says Khabib can't sell fights. Keith Polareki says Al versus Ferguson next. Boner Militia 20 Dykes. Steve Johnson says Gregor McGillespie. McAction MMA says Khabib needs to fight Ferguson, damn it. Henry Galusha says Fukin 20 likes. SDZ Portland in the house.
In the house.
Internal says phone. I'm crushing your head says this dude's pictogram pulsating like a mofo.
Wonderful.
Khabib Goat says let Gregor fight McGregor for the Gregor belts. Dirty Dan says I'm not your friend, guy. Rev 6, send me location. I'm not impressed with your performance. GSP LOL. Internals dancing in the chat. Brian Roger says 25k subs end of year.
We made a prediction here. This is bold. This is very bold. We're going on our third year over here, right? We're 2 years in the game, and we are predicting 30,000 subscribers. That's right. 30,000. That's what we're going for. Fuck it. We're just going for it. That's what we're doing this year. That's what we're predicting. Let me know in the chat what you feel this channel will be at, where you feel this channel will be at by the end of the year. Thank you so much for the likes over here. It's good to see you guys jumping in with those thumbs in the upright position. Greg Hardy, should he come back? Jon Jones, well, he's in trouble again. Not too much trouble, but I saw Vlad earlier put in the chat that there were 2 different labs that tested him positive for the same thing, but he was positive multiple times here. So the question is, what is the deal? What do we do with this Jon Jones? Looks like he's still fighting. Let me check out UFC.com. Let's go to UFC. Let's go to all events. Okay. This website's still AIDS. It's good to see that this still AIDS. Let's see if they made him the main event yet. It's so cool to see Cain Velasquez's face back in the picture. I'm so fucking happy about that.
What is Dirty Dan doing in the chat?
I don't know.
I'm not your buddy pal. I'm not your pal friend. I'm not your friend. Like he just keeps going over and over again.
No one knows. No one knows what's going on. What? Let's see. Did I pass it? What the fuck?
Aaron McFarland says 55,000. Wow. 7 billion trillion subs, says Boss Kogar. Keith Polareki says Khabib missed weight. They won't fight Fort, or they won Fort. I just missed the rest of it. I'm sorry. Steve Johnson says Dirty Dan is talking about South Park. Boner Militia, being gay is gay. Khabib Goat says, who will have more MMA buds or MMA holes? Well, there's no question MMA holes because we're the fucking greatest. McAction MMA says, it's a South Park thing, Jesse. Stelio 2 says, Handsome Truth goes live in 50 minutes. Thanks for telling us.
All right. So, hold on a second. We got a donation.
You can't stop the Siberian Express. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
Dana White Lies has donated.
20 likes, 20 coons, 20 lies. Whatever it takes to turn a buck. This is the new UFC. Selling out the fans to pay off their Jewish debt. And not all Chicago hookers are black. Broken promises, fake title fights, CM Punk, and white coons like TJ.
Look at that. Dana White Lies jumping in with the donation. Thank you, Dana White Lies. Going over to UFC.com, and the main event is still to be determined. Versus to be determined. So Jon Jones versus Anthony Smith is still not here. Are they fighting? I mean, news breaks that this man is still in a little bit of hot water. I mean, has Dana White said anything about this? This is pretty interesting that on the website, the UFC website, it's not official here. Interesting stuff. Fights that are on the card. Robbie Lawler versus Ben Askren. Tisha Torres versus Zhang. Diego Sanchez Gal. And that is your main card. Okay. Interesting. But really, nothing has been really pieced together. I don't even know if that's your main card. That's just the fights that are here. Interesting stuff. It's John Cena.
Can't stop the Siberian Express. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
John Cena just wants to drop a deuce. Thank you.
John Cena.
Look at that, John Cena. All right, Jesse, we got the phone lines open.
516-522-0267. That's 516. 522.
Give us a call.
0267.
Okay, there we go. Espanol. Give us a call. Let us know what you think maybe about the Bella twins and Henry Cejudo perhaps you would like to talk about that, or Jon Jones, Greg Hardy, whatever you want to talk about. Now's your time. Everyone's like, oh, open the lines, then no one calls. So what the fuck are we opening them for? Let's see. We're going over to, I want to see. Oh, where was I going? Let's see. I wonder what the deal. I'm hanging out on Twitter over here. I'm going on Twitter, and I wanted to see if there was anything breaking. You go to Brett Okamoto. He's the best, right? Brett's got it done. He knows how to pull it down. Him and Ariel. If you follow these two on Twitter, you got it all. You got everything you need. And this is what Brett Okamoto puts. This is 3 hours ago, so basically right before we went live. Similar stuff here. Jess, what does Brett say?
Today's revelation that Jon Jones had the M3 metabolite in his system on 12/28 doesn't change his status or the result of the last fight. What will be interesting is Jones's hearing with the Nevada Commission on 1/29. Nevada hasn't tipped its hand on how it will handle Jones yet.
Well, if this is something to tell you how the UFC is going to handle Jones, it says to be determined versus to be determined. So, okay. Now here's the question for the chat. Mm-hmm. Do you think that this fight is not happening on UFC 235? I've been brushing it off the whole night, thinking, it's the same. It's positive for the same thing, so it's no real big deal. But this is curious. This is very, very curious.
Very curious.
So let's see what the chat says. Will Jon Jones versus Anthony Smith be the headlining fight for UFC 235? Yes or no? That is the question. Shout out to our patrons. You are wonderful, wonderful. If you want to become a patron, you get your ass over to the MMA-Holes website. There's a patron section over there on the website. You scroll down.
You get
stopped at the Siberian Express. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
The Cali Commission chiming in.
I'm the head of the Cali Commission. A few picograms, no biggie. Have all of Jones' fights in Cali, but it will cost some head. Usman needs to blow the president of the commission. He has a fetish for borderline retarded blacks with mucal.
There you go. With mucal. Yeah, there you go. That's how you can get it done. A little head can get things going there, Jesse. Check it out on the MMAHoles.com. You can become a patron and become part of our private community. It is wonderful, wonderful over there. And shout out to our existing patrons. You all are beautiful people. Jesse, let's see what's going on in that chat.
Zach Neezer goes, yup. Marky Wahoo says, what happens if Anthony Smith Cejudo's bones? Jason
What
Sensation,
happens what?
What happens if Anthony Smith Cejudo's bones?
If Anthony Smith Cejudo's bones?
Yeah.
I don't know what that means,
Wait,
Mark.
no, okay,
Hold on.
Jason Sensation says, I would say that any fighter could take steroids in the light heavyweight division and they could still not beat him.
Probably true. You're probably right. Make everyone cheat. That's what they should do, right? In the light heavyweight division, they should just make everyone cheat to see if they could still beat Jon Jones. Be impossible. Vlad Shiro.
Dodson didn't beat me. Dominic Cruz didn't beat me. Henry Cejudo didn't beat me. TJ Dillashaw is becoming the Adrian Browner of MMA. Hashtag Jon Jones didn't do nothing.
There you go. Vlad Shiro jumping in. Thank you very much. You know, someone made a point of this. What would happen if you're getting low again? You're quicksanding right now. You're the kid in class that wants to go home. If TJ Dillashaw lost to Cody Garbrandt, what kind of complaining do you think we would have seen? Someone made mention of this in the last chat.
I don't think that we would see much complaining from him, to be quite honest.
Really?
Yeah, because at the 135 division, he'd be upset, and I think that he would give excuses, but I don't think he would have complained as much because of the stoppage that occurred between him and Cejudo. That's what caused the complaining, the fact that he did all that hard work, went down that extra 10 pounds just to fight someone for 32 seconds. That's where most of the complaining came from. I don't think it would have come... He would have complained a little bit, but I don't think it would have been as bad.
I think he would have bitched and complained like crazy, considering the beef they had with each other. He's very whiny, TJ. Especially if you look at what happened with... now I see what's going on here. When we move the table, it starts fucking...
Oh, super
look who it is! Niall Flanagan!
A cumin. Towards Proper 12 Fund.
There you go. Thank you, Niall. You're wonderful, wonderful.
A cumin.
There you go. Jumping in with the 5 spot.
Yeah.
So let's see what in the chat. What do you think about TJ Dillashaw? What is next for TJ Dillashaw? And thank you for the donations tonight. Wonderful, wonderful peoples.
Wonderful.
Keith Polaraki says that Cody will kill Cejudo. Cejudo is done at 135. Brian Ritter, how many UFC divisions are there? Duke Chronic says, with a rookie ref. Law of Attraction says, Staley, Jews push that gay agenda. If there is trannies on TV, I look it up to see if there's Jews. Almost the whole cast of $1 million listing are Jews. Marky Wahoo says, CM Punk versus Ariel Helwani. How's it go? Internal? He's dehydrated.
I got Ariel in that fight.
Dirty Dances, shake the table, Chris. McAction MMA says proper 12 for proper people. Hey, Marky says Michael Anzalone. Silly Shock is weak, says Jordan Alex. NH says bobble, bobblehead.
That's right. NH's bobblehead sitting right over here. That will be on its way. There you go. The MMA bobblehead. Shout out to MMA bobblehead for making the dreams come true over here. We have the phone lines open 516-522-0267. We'll take a couple of calls and wind this shit show down. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on the MMA-Holes. The next show will be Friday, so make sure you subscribe and you slap that notification bell so you can join us for Fuka Friday.
We're gonna drink, smoke, Fuka on a Friday.
There you go. Wonderful over there. And we'll be reacting to Bellator this weekend. By the way, there is our friend Justin Sumter is fighting on the MVP card over here. Let's see. I still don't know how to use Bellator's website. It's so weird. And how do I find the other fights? Like, what if I want to scroll through, like, to see the other fights? How do I do this?
Click it.
Click what?
Click click that. Yeah, the picture. Click it.
Click the picture? No, the picture brings us to the fight.
Yeah, isn't that what you're looking for?
No. I want to go to the other fights. Like, where? More info? Where do we go?
Next event, Bellator 214.
All right, where was that? Next event. Here we go. 214. No, that's not the one I want.
Which fight do you want?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I want to go MVP versus Venom Page.
215.
No, that's 216 I want to go to.
216, sorry.
I don't know how to do it.
Wait, what's that menu up at the top right?
Let's see.
There you go.
Here we go. Events. All right, here we did it. Oh, it's been solved. Okay. That's not it. It's not it. Dashing photos over here. All right, here it is. All right, we found it. We did it, kids. We did it. We did it together. All right, so on this card over here, the prelims is stacked with MMA holes. Sarah Payant was on the show. Pat Casey was on the show. We don't have any of these two knuckleheads. Let's see what else we got here. Jesse Kosakowski on the show, and Justin Sumter, who is not on the website over here, he's added to this card as well. So we almost have an MMA hole on every fight on this card with the Bellator card, MVP versus Paul Daly. So let me know if you want to do a marathon night. Maybe we can drag all these peeps back onto the show with a yes or no. That's right. All right. Let's see what we got over here. Make sure you check out the MMAHoles.com, our message board, where we are 24/7 over here just chilling and doing some shite. You can check out the news from all over the interwebs, and it is wonderful.
Wonderful.
All right, Jesse. No one wants to call us. What's that about?
Nah, that's cool. You want to end the show 15 minutes early?
You know what I'm going to do? We got a new patron over here. Works. Frank Bavon is a patron. Oh, hold on a second real quick as I fix the camera. Thank you, Frank, so much for that pledge. Look at that. Frank Bavon. Now we know the patron works. But here's the thing, Frank. We love you to death, Frankie. And we want to put you in our private Discord. But every time Frank is pledged, he's pledged. This is probably his fourth time he's pledged over the course of running patron. And it's never gone through. Like, he's backed out or it's been declined. So here's the question to you, Jesse. Will this one be legit? What do you think?
Yeah, of course it would.
I hope so, because we want to put Frank Bavon in our private community. And Frank, you are wonderful. Look at that, Frankie B. So Frankie B will be part of our private community, but we'll see if it goes through. Look at Ann H loves Frank. That'd be awesome, getting him in our Discord over there. Could you imagine the conversations we would have with Frank?
I couldn't imagine.
The private Discord is interesting. It's an interesting place to be. All right. Yeah, maybe it's Google Hangouts. Ann H, what's up, Ann? My fucking camera's not working. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We are wonderful.
Wonderful.
That's right.
Oh, you're glitching. Okay, it went away now. No,
yeah, I know. I don't know if it's Google Hangouts or I don't know what the fuck. This thing is banged out. I don't know if it's my camera or I don't know. Who knows?
It's the MMA-Holes ghost.
Maybe. Ooh, MMA-Holes ghost. And how pumped. In my hand is your box. How do you feel about that?
That's cool. I'll give you my address again.
There you go.
That to you.
There it is. I wanted to open this up and show it on air, but I'm going to leave it packed the way it is. So if there's anything broken, it's MMA Bobblehead's fault. It's not my fault. but I'm going to leave it the way it is, and I'm just going to send it over to you. It looks pretty cool, man. This guy does some job on his bobbleheads.
Yes, he does. I saw all of them. I'm like, man, those are really good.
Now that it's getting closer, the day's closer, you're finally going to be able to touch Cowboy Cerrone's bobblehead. How excited are you right now? I mean, is Mike H. going to take a step back and let you have personal time with this bobblehead, or are you going to enjoy it together? What are we going to do when we receive this thing?
I get to have personal time with it, he said.
Yes?
Personal time. Yes.
All right. That's right. Some personal time with Cowboy. Well-deserved personal time. And did you see on the community section, you saw the cartoon that Dos Brock did? I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah. Yes, I did.
How cool is that, right? I'm going to show this right now in our community
That's
section.
pretty cool.
Yeah, right? All right, let's put this on our little Zoom section over here. Oh, fuck this. I've been having a lot of technical... I don't know what the hell's going on, Ann. What am I doing? I don't even know what I'm doing with myself anymore. All right. So, here it is. Here's the picture. I'm showing the peeps right now. It's Conor McGregor drinking on some whiskey or scotch, and Cowboy Cerrone in the shadows, lurking, waiting for his chance to get a piece of McGregor. Ann, what do you think about this picture over here?
That's pretty cool. I love it. Like Old West style, you know?
Yeah.
The old Westerns come for a gunfight.
It's so fucking awesome.
At the bar.
It really is. This is probably one of his best drawings. Check out Dusbrock on Instagram. This guy here, he's a beast, man. This is something. I don't know how he does this, if he paints this or he does this on the computer, but whoa, what a freaking... I mean, this is definitely his best one, in my opinion.
It's cool. I like it.
That is cool. I kind of want to buy one of these and blow it up and put it in the back. It's pretty neat. So what do you think about this fight? I mean, if this doesn't get you pumped up for the fight. By the way, I think Cowboy lied to him. Cowboy's like, yeah, I'm definitely reposting that shit. And I don't think he did. Let's see. Let's catch Cowboy in a lie. Let's see. Let's see. We're going to get to the bottom of this. He didn't do it.
Stop.
He's a fucking liar, Ann.
Who's a liar?
Cowboy Cerrone lied to Dos Brock. Hold on. I'm going to find it. Let's see. Hold on a second. I'm going to go onto his Instagram. Okay. Let's see if we can find it. He's a goddamn liar, Ann. Let's see. Fuck. It's buried because there's so many people commented on this thing. Son of a bitch. Anyway, Cowboy replied on here. He's like, as soon as I get back home, I'm going to repost this thing. And he didn't do it, Ann. Could you believe this, man? What a piece of shit.
Stop.
I'm kidding. We love Cowboy Cerrone.
My dog's driving me nuts.
What's going on over there?
My dog wants me to play. She's got her squeaky toy.
All right.
Toys.
What kind of dog do you have, Ann?
Yeah, how about that Hardy guy? Jesse, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing swell. Thanks for asking, Ann. I almost thought I didn't exist here for a moment.
Me and Ann were having a moment.
Yeah.
No, you always exist.
It's cool.
Of course. I wouldn't forget Jesse. Hell no.
Jesse's not even in frame right now.
Cool.
She's like the kids that
Win
slouches
woman.
in school.
It's cool.
Get in frame. People want to see that beautiful face. What the hell you do?
It's so cool. What kind of dog do you have, Ann?
Jesse. I have 2 Shih Tzus.
Shih Tzus?
Shih Tzus.
Shih Tzus.
What is it? A Shih Tzu is one of those small dogs, right? With those little faces.
They're really cute. They're fluffy.
They're cute and smart and very stubborn.
Are they barkers? Or like, do they keep going?
Nah,
I was gonna say, I
they
thought
don't.
they were
But
quiet.
if someone's at the door, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
When she wants to play, Delaney, yes.
Here's the real
8 years
question.
old and
And has the dog seen you naked? Be honest.
What did you say?
Did the dog see NH naked? I mean, animals sometimes see you nude. Saved by the super chat. HRH.
Thank you for taking my call. Wish I could have been more articulate. Was nervous AF to call in. Love ya too. Keep doing what you are doing.
Thanks, HRH, and never be nervous to call in.
Thank you.
We have people who call in every fucking time of life. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's right. Don't be nervous.
Take Ann, for example. Ann just calls in whenever she feels like it.
Yeah.
When Ann calls, we
fun.
just forget about everybody. We just have personal conversations. Like, hey, how are the kids? You know, how's everything
Oh,
going?
my kids, it's the dogs. Yeah,
Yeah,
my cats.
right?
They're good.
That's how I was. I had a cat, and it was like my daughter. Like, I treated the thing like a goddamn baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. You ever going to get another one?
I got this cat over here, so I'm gonna just deal with this thing. Put her in the litter box.
A cat. Whoa. Things are gonna get steamy up in here.
Right over her head. And what do you think of the Jon Jones with this whole situation? 2 labs say no good, buddy. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's kind of stupid, but it's the same thing. So, yeah.
It's annoying. Have you had enough?
Yeah, it's annoying, but he's probably just gonna nothing. It's just forget it. I'll still watch him. I won't pay. I'll go, but I'm just that way because I just love to watch him fight.
What do you think? And by the way, if you're tuning in right now, we have this 7% queen over here, Ann H. the Knitter, live on the show. So bow in her greatness, her presence right now. UFC 235 has no main event. It says to be determined over here. So do you think that this is not going to be on the card?
I'm wondering. Man, why wouldn't they put it? That's weird.
Strange, right? What about Greg Hardy? Do you want to see him back in the UFC?
Wow.
Okay. Not liking him.
Yeah, I was. He knew exactly what he was doing. I'm sorry if people don't think he knew what he was doing with that knee.
Very interesting.
It's in his nature. Let's put it that way.
And do you want to take questions from the chat?
Sure.
All right. Now is the time of the show. We only have a couple minutes left. We have the Knitter and H live on the MMA-Holes. Ask away in the chat, and we will rattle off a couple of questions and wind this show down. Be back on Friday, fooking off. And let's see what the chat room has to say to Ann H, the queen of the 7.
Make Action MMA says that you and I should fight on that card.
Whoa. Main event.
What do you say, Ann?
Yeah, sure, but, it'd probably be a draw.
And you have experience. You have some martial arts experience.
Yeah, I have are you kidding? I'm a triple black belt in podcasting.
Oh, she took my line. God damn it. How dare you. All right. Here we go. Another joke stealer. All right, what else do we have in the chat over here?
Stelio 2 says, Ann, do you agree Vigo Stockholm brings nothing to the show?
Vigo's probably not in the chat right now because I told him he has no life and he's always here. So he's bowing out gracefully. What else do we have for Ann?
Ann H, can you knit me some body armor, says Boneyard Militia.
Sure, I'll knit that body armor down below.
And Internal would like to know, do you have a crush on Chris?
Oh, I mean, that's obvious. I have a crush on myself.
We all know this.
Yeah, really, well said that. He's my second husband.
That's right. Me and
ginger.
Let's see. Knitters Lives Matter. Mike H is black, right? Says Dirty Dan.
No, Mike H is a ginger.
Let's see.
All right, here we go. God, patron.
Tyler J. Conrad.
J. Conrad. We got a new patron over here. That is fucking wonderful, wonderful.
All right, Tyler, your Discord link, and when you sign up in the top right, when you sign up for Patreon, there's a thing that says join Discord. Just click that Discord button, and you are in the Discord, my friend.
So we have an idea for patrons. There's gonna be a lot of stuff for our patrons because the patrons. I mean, I can't. Ann H is a patron. We can't thank you enough for just helping us out over here. So we're going to be doing more stuff with Patreon. So stay tuned for that. We're even thinking about private shows, more giveaways. So if you want to support the show anyway from $2 up, become a patron, and you could become part of our private Discord. Ann H is inside there. Ann, would you like to sing with me?
Yes. I'd like to sing with you.
All right, this is me and Ann H are going to do a duet over here. Ready?
All right.
We got a couple of patrons tonight. And we have Frank Pavon and we have Tyler. You know what I could use right now, Ann? I could use a blowjob. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Ooh.
Put that head on my dick and suck. Ann H.
Suck my dick.
Yes, put that head on my dick and suck. Ann H.
Yes.
What would you like down below? That's right.
Wait, I got it.
And Jesse's jumping in. All right, here we go. We got 2 patrons here.
3 heads on his dick.
Yeah.
And suck.
All right. What a song. All right. I don't know what just happened there. We just lost like half of our viewership, but that's fine. All right, so there we go.
I'm sorry.
We haven't played that in a while. How about Frank Pavon jumping into the Discord? What do you think about that, Ann?
Crazy. Swoosh.
I didn't get over there.
Just
I've only got so many devices, guys. You're on the TV, you're on my other phone, then I'm talking on my other phone.
Well, Ann, we love it when you call. You're a breath of fresh air. We love when you jump in on the MMA holes.
I just have to point out, because Vlad just made this a very valid point, Tyler's Discord name is Cooney. And Real is going to love that, according to Vlad.
He's Cooney. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe he is Real. Maybe
Super chat.
All right, let's see what we got here. Roberto Hernandez.
You guys are unique, different, that's tight.
Yeah, different is a good way to describe us. All right, and
yeah.
Last words. Let's let you get the last words in, and we'll shut this shit show down.
I miss Drunk Savage.
Aw.
Yeah, we miss him too, but he's in a good place. He's in a good place right now. He's dead. No. He fucking offed himself.
That's a horrible thing to say.
He reached out to us and he's like, guys, listen, I'm dead right now. I can't come back to the show. But no, he's fine. He's good. He's just getting himself together. So don't be upset.
Dirty Dan, I do not sell dope.
Yes, she does.
Marijuana is legal here in Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
She sells all kinds of dope.
She's a dope peddler. All right, and thank you for the call. We appreciate it, and we'll see you on Friday.
You're welcome.
Love you, Ann.
Love you guys.
Love. All right, there she is. Ann H. loving us. Listen, what a night. Another night in the books. Wednesday. I always have a good time doing this. Jesse, do you have a good time doing this?
I always have a good time doing this.
It really is a lot of fun. You coming back each and every show puts a little tear in my eye. I flick it. I catch it. I eat it.
I thought I eat it.
You eat the dick. Oh, I mean, what? We got to get out of here. I mean, I'm getting frisky. It's time to sign off, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. So I want you to look into JBH's eyes right now. We'll be back on Friday. Shout out to our sponsor, BetDSI. Link in the description.
Don't be an a-hole. Be an MMA-hole.